Thanksgiving in the North Penn area, and that means one thing and one thing only: North Penn and Lansdale Catholic football. This year, in the 17th meeting, both teams bring identical records of 8-3 to a very muddy Crawford Stadium. Hello, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving. Along with Chad Powell, I'm Kyle Berger, and we're glad you could make us part of your Thanksgiving this year. Chad, today it's North Penn and Lansdale Catholic. Traditional matchup. North Penn holds a 13-3 edge in the series, but both teams coming off of disappointing postseason performances, looking to get a win to end the season on. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, both teams went into the playoffs losing pretty badly. North Penn, the CB West, and Lansdale Catholic, the Perkiomen Valley. Both teams got blown out, and right now the best thing they can do is come out and try and win tonight, or today. And just it'll help them next year, especially with North Penn having a lot of juniors on their team.
Okay, and North Penn, as we said, an 8-3 record, got off to a great start, had a rocky finish, as you said. Just explain North Penn's season in a bit of a nutshell for us.
Well, North Penn started out with a great 5-0, and then they met CB West and lost that game. The real heartbreak, 13-12, and then they went on to finish their season, getting blown out in their last two games by Norristown CB West again.
Well, Lansdale Catholic got off to a rocky start this year against Bethlehem Catholic, one of the top programs in the state. They lost 55-0 in the opening week, and many people could have just assumed that Lansdale Catholic would pack their bags and go home, but they did not. They worked their way back to get into the playoffs, and they did qualify. They're led by Joe Judge and Joe Kellogg, two juniors, Judge being the quarterback, Kellogg the wide receiver. Well, last year there was a great Thanksgiving game here that we brought to you, and we put together a highlight tape of that, so let's take a look. It was a great day for football, a bit windy and a bit cold, but Heike Johnson would have a big day. We'll see him here getting big yardage. He would wind up with 257 yards and 3 touchdowns against Lansdale Catholic. North Penn got onto the scoreboard early with this 19-yard run by Heike Johnson, making it 7-0. Interesting about this play, it's the same exact play. They ran the play before it was called back on a touchdown. They ran the same play and got a touchdown out of it. Then we'll go to a next play in the quarter. Matt Hertz on the next possession. Watch him come out of the tackle-eligible play from Tom Parentozzi. And he's going to go 24 yards on the pass completion, wide open down the middle on the tight end. Tackle-eligible, I should say, making it 14-0 at the end of one quarter. And now one of the greatest plays of last season, Heike Johnson. I'm just going to let you watch it. He'll go 80 yards. Touchdown would give North Penn a 21-0 lead over Lansdale Catholic. The Crusaders got on the board later in the quarter. Kevin Bonner, we'll see some of him today. A 5-yard run, making the score 27-6 after the 2-point conversion failed. And LC in the second quarter, once again, Mike DeMartelier on the flea flicker from Joe Keating. The 2-point conversion failed, 21-12 at halftime. Then we'll see a 36-yard slant to Tim Herman bouncing off the North Penn defense from Mike DeMartelier. And LC's back within one, 21-20. That was the score after 3 quarters. And then Lansdale Catholic got on the lead with this 8-yard pass from Mike DeMartelier to Joe Keating, making the score 26-21. But North Penn would come back on the next possession, and they would get back into the lead with this 50-yard run by Heike Johnson, giving them a 27-26 lead, and that would be the final score. Heike, as we said, ended up with 257 yards rushing. North Penn as a team had 333 yards rushing, and Mike DeMartelier had 200 yards passing for the Crusaders, and he is having a heck of a season in college this season. Well, I had a chance to sit down with Coach Pettin and some of the North Penn players earlier this week, and we're going to check out Coach's Corner right now. Right now, we're in North Penn Television studios for Coach's Corner, joined by Coach Mike Pettin of the North Penn Knights, along with Mike Kapusta and Clay Kucklick. Coach, thanks for joining us. First, let's start off. 2 weeks ago, you dropped a tough one to CB West in the playoffs, but that shouldn't put the damper on a pretty good season for you guys.
No, I mean, we reached a goal. We'd set a goal wanting to make the district playoffs. Unfortunately, we came up short in that game to a pretty good football team, so I don't think we have anything to really hang our heads about. What's important, though, is that we take that experience and move on and finish the season on a positive note.
Okay, let's go back 2 years ago. You first come into the program now in your second year. You can kind of say you turned around the program, but you've also had a bunch of good players coming up that helped that cause. Sort of a bad reputation for the team and the community when you first came in, but there's been a real positive image on this team now.
Well, the biggest thing, there were a lot of things going on that we couldn't control as a staff, so we just felt we wanted to get in with the kids, get real involved with the off-season program, and just coach and let everything else fall into place. And fortunately for us, that's happened, and it's due in large part to the fact that we've got good kids.
Okay, now, just looking back on this season in review, if you could pick out one moment that was the highlight of this season for your team, what would it be?
Well, I don't know if there was a moment in time I could say we're at a particular game. And I just think the fact that we qualified for the playoffs and played in that atmosphere, we were one of the 4 top teams in District 1 and Quad A. I think that's accomplishing a major goal for us as a staff and as a team. Like I said, unfortunately, we came up short, but I think it really comes down to Thanksgiving Day to really validate all that we've accomplished this season.
Now, getting your foot in the door, if you will, for the playoffs, does that raise the bar next year? You know, you got into the playoffs this year. Now, let's win the district championship next year?
Well, I think it raises the bar. I think you look at our roster, 90-plus kids with only 12 seniors. I can't help but think that expectations next year are going to be high. We're going to have, obviously, these 2 guys are very good football players. They'll be back next year. We'll have Heike Johnson, a 1,400-plus yard rusher coming back. Chris McKelvey, a Division I prospect. Aaron Thomas. So there's going to be a lot of familiar names and faces back next year. So coming from a team that qualified when these guys were juniors, I can't help but think that, like I said, expectations will be high.
Okay, now let's talk to one of those juniors, Mike Capusto, linebacker for the Knights. Mike, you started off a little spot duty at fullback this year, almost by accident after Martin Leonard went down. And now your focus, you've had a couple good games at fullback, but really you're billed as a linebacker. How do you figure out, are you concentrating more on being a linebacker or as a fullback this year?
Well, I mean, this year coming in, I knew that I was playing linebacker because I played last year, and I always kind of thought of myself as a defensive type player. I mean, I had set a goal to play offense, and I achieved that goal, but I mean, always when I'm in the game, I just think when I'm on the defensive side of the ball, I'm thinking like a defensive player as well as the same as when I'm on offense. So.
Okay, now the defense this year for you guys has been incredible. Earlier in the season, you had a shutout streak of close to 13 quarters. What does it feel like to be part of a defense that's as dominating as North Penn's?
Well, it feels good, really. It frustrates other teams, and like as Coach Pettin tells us, if the other team can't score, they can't win. And that in itself just motivates me to play, really.
Now for yourself on defense, you had Mike Moore, who was out with an injury for a while, as well as Martin Leonard, who had been out, and you sort of had to elevate your game as well, just kind of anchoring the linebacking cores. How have you dealt with that?
I mean, I don't really look at it as something I did, really. I mean, I just play as hard as I can, and I can just speak for myself. But I mean, the rest of the team has played well. Guys like Clay and Mike Connell is stepping in at outside linebacker, and just can't really speak for myself.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Clay, summer camp for football, a big heated rivalry between you and Joe Talese for quarterback. Joe came up with just a step up on you, but you managed to work your way in by way of injury. How have you dealt with, trying to be in the backup role all of a sudden into the starter's role at quarterback?
Well, I just try to listen to the coaches when they're giving Joe a tip. I'm trying to listen and just making sure I listen to what coaches are doing, and when I get the chance, I get to go in.
Now your brother, I should say, Brian, is a quarterback at Wake Forest. Has he helped you at all in your development as a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, we've thrown over the summer a little bit, talking about little stuff. I talked to him over the phone. Just keeps telling me to keep working hard.
Now on defense, you've also stepped up at linebacker. Same question I asked Mike. Dominating defense, it's got to feel great to be on that.
Yeah, I mean, it feels good on the defense, but also gives the offense a lift, a little boost of confidence there that they still do their job, but they know their defense is behind them.
Okay, Clay, thanks. Coach, Thanksgiving game against LC today. A lot of people think, hey, it's Thanksgiving, nobody really cares. But this is more than just any game for you guys. It's crosstown backyard brawl.
Sure, there's a lot of factors involved with this game. First, it's two pretty good football teams. You got two teams that both qualified for the district playoffs in their respective classifications. You have a crosstown rivalry, and you got two teams that know that you're usually remembered by your last game. So I think all those things add up to this is going to be a pretty good football game.
LC brings a lot of offensive firepower as usual. They have a pretty good passing attack. Do you look to change the defense to protect the pass anymore?
Well, we have to change it some. I don't think we can line up in the same look every play and just say, here's what we're going to play. Go ahead and beat us. I think we have to mix things up, and I think we have to get some pressure on the quarterback and then at times sit back and drop a lot of guys off in zone or bluff that we're going to blitz then back out or walk up late. I mean, just a lot of different looks so they can't really draw a beat on what we're trying to get done defensively.
Now, you've gotten some good news in the injury department and some bad news as well. Just explain for us some of the injuries.
Well, I guess it's pretty much typical of our season. Losing guys here and there with injury, it's unfortunate. But in the West playoff game, we lost Mike Landis, hyperextended his knee. He will not play. Mike Moore, injured an ankle. He will not play. Chris McKelvey has had some problems with his hand, but he's been cleared to play. So he will be available on Thanksgiving Day. So it's just typical for the season. Now, fortunately, all year we've had guys that have kind of been in the wings, available, paying attention, knowing what's going on, so that they could step in and fill right in for those guys.
Okay, congratulations on a good season and good luck today against Lansdale Catholic. Right here's the William E. Hairpost 206 American Legion Trophy. That's what Lansdale Catholic and North Penn are playing for today. Right now, we're going to send it back out onto the field to Melissa Croak.
Out to see the North Penn Knights' last game of the season. The spirits aren't just high today. They have been evident in the high school halls all week long. I thought the student body would have given up on the football team. Wrong! School spirit has been at its peak this week as North Penn prepared for this intense game of crosstown rivals.
Well, I think they will rise to the occasion. I think the students will be there. Everybody in Lansdale will be out to just greet us and support our team.
What do you think the outcome of the game is going to be?
No question we're going to win. Slaughter.
Signs were put up all over school. Wednesday was North Penn Spirit Day, and ticket sales went through the roof. Hopefully, North Penn's undying spirit will be able to conquer Lansdale Catholics. Well, I'm going to be interviewing people all through the day. It looks like it's going to be a great game. The rain seems to be lighting up. So I'm psyched. The crowd's psyched. Let's get this thing started. Back up to Kyle.
Thanks, Melissa. Good work down there. We'll be checking in with you throughout the day. Right now, Chad, we're going to take a look at some of the team stats for Lansdale Catholic and North Penn.
C's offense with only 3,288 yards total. North Penn's defense has been doing pretty well so far. They only let up a total of 2,487 yards, while LC has given up a total of 2,866. While the point production for North Penn's offense has been only 0.6% higher than LC, and their defense has only given up 14 points a game, while LC's defense has given up 22.3 points.
Well, at North Penn Television, we decided to put together the top 10 plays of North Penn football over the past 2 seasons. And our number 10 play in that top 10, we're going to go to Penn Ridge's Papa Yoder Stadium to check it out. A Martin Leonard diving catch. Well, the first course of our Thanksgiving football feast has been served, and we'll be back with the main course right after this on North Penn Television. Stay with us.
Be cool about fire safety. If you don't want to get burned, be cool about fire safety. You got a lot to learn. Don't touch matches or lighters. Tell a grown up instead. You gotta have an escape plan, and you be a step ahead. Don't hide, go outside, get out the door and run. You gotta race to a neighbor's place and down 911. You need smoke detectors that everyone can hear. many smoke detectors do you have in your home? Count them. Remember that where there's fire, there's gonna be a lot of smoke. Fall and crawl and cover your mouth, so smoke can make you choke. Be cool about fire safety. If you don't want to get burned, be cool about fire safety. You got a lot to learn.
What if you had to choose between a flower and an elephant? What would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a 1,000,000-year-old beach? Could you choose between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Now you can choose all these things. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with.
Over 2 million acres of our wildlands burn each year, and hundreds of homes are lost as a result.
At least 50 homes were burned to the ground. Dozens more were damaged as fires raced through dense brush and steep canyons.
Flames don't know the difference between forest, rangelands, and homes. Learn how you can fireproof your home. For more information, contact your local fire protection agency, state forestry office, or the USDA Forest Service.
If you're not recycling, you're throwing it all away.
Welcome back to Crawford Stadium for the 17th meeting of Lansdale Catholic and North Penn on Thanksgiving. North Penn captains number 76, Dave Koslow, number 21, Martin Leonard, and number 71, Corey Jackson. Lansdale Catholic's captains number 35, Mark Bruner, number 54, Chip Panico, and number 75, John Briner have just completed the coin toss. North Penn, wearing the white jerseys and blue pants, will go from left to right and will receive. Lansdale Catholic, with the green jerseys, gold numbers, and gold pants, will kick off going from right to left. Chad, today's game, we had questions as to whether or not it would even be played, but it looks like the weather has cleared up, but the muddy field is definitely going to come into effect today.
Oh, definitely, especially since everybody saw the CBUS game. Dan Chang hitting Pichotti, making the fumble. The ball's going to be flying all over the place. Players are going to get all muddy and slippery. It's going to be really hard to tackle and hold on to the ball.
Of course, Lansdale Catholic, their offense is a passing offense, and with the wind and light rain right now, you might see that come into effect. Their passing game might take a hit today in this weather.
Well, LC's passing game is pretty much all they do. I mean, they did double North Penn's passing offense for the whole season. North Penn only had 690, and LC has 1810.
Yeah, to put that in perspective, Chad, Joe Judge, the quarterback for Lansdale Catholic, has completed 105 passes. Joe Talese has only thrown 79, so we'll see about that. Kicking off for the Lansdale Catholic Crusaders is number 19, Kevin Keating, a freshman, back deep to receive for the Knights at their 5-yard line. Aaron Thomas and Heike Johnson, and we are underway. It's a squib kick taken to the middle line, and Larry Cannon dives on it for North Penn. They'll start out at the 32-yard line. Let's take a look at the North Penn offensive starters. Talese is the quarterback. Johnson Kapusta, the running back. Aaron Thomas and M. Fitzpatrick are the wideouts. Up front for the Knights, Jeff Michael, Dave Koslow, Dan Chang, Corey Jackson, and Chris McKelvey. On the line, Matt Hertz is the tight end. The 1st and 10 North Penn. Ball spotted at their own 32-yard line as the Thanksgiving game is now underway. Glad you could join us today on North Penn Television. I'm Kyle Berger with Chad Powell and Melissa Croak down on the field. Joe Talese, the quarterback for the North Penn Knights. Mike Kapusta lined up in front of Johnson. Now Clay Kucklick, the wingback, goes into motion. Up the middle it goes to Johnson, and he gets close to 3 yards out to the 35-yard line. 2nd and 7 for the Knights. The Lansdale Catholic starting defensive line going from left to right. Chip Panico, the defensive end. John Briner, the defensive tackle. Scott Keating, another tackle. And the other defensive end, Matt Sterreicher. North Penn going into the no-huddle offense. 2nd and 7. Kucklick once again into motion. Now it'll go I-veer to Heike Johnson, and he is dropped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play. Looks like picking up the tackle for Lansdale Catholic was number 51, Bill Andrioni. The linebackers in secondary for the Crusaders. Linebackers, 83, Kevin Maloney. His brother, number 36, Ryan Maloney. And the other linebacker, number 35, Mark Brunner. Cornerbacks are Jack Byers and Dave Rauch. And the free safety is Joe Kellogg, strong safety Kevin Bonner. 3rd and 6, big play early for North Penn as the rain starts to pick up here early on at Crawford Stadium, just underway. Ball at the 36-yard line of the Knights. Crusaders showing blitz. Split formation, twins to the right. It's going to be a quarterback sneak by Talese, and he has the first down. He's still on his feet. Joe Talese is going to score. I don't believe it. On 3rd and 6, he runs a quarterback sneak. Touchdown Knights. Joe Talese, a 64-yard run, and North Penn is into the lead. Wow.
Well, that's a great call by Pettin. They proved last year they can run up the middle on LC, and they just did it again to him.
That was an incredible play by Joe Talese, once again showing his speed at quarterback. Got to hand it to the offensive line. Dan Chang, a good job blocking up front at center. That was a great play by North Penn. So Joe Talese adding to his rushing yards. He has really become a good scrambler as a quarterback. Was one of the leading rushers on North Penn. Coming into the game, Talese had 258 yards. On to kick the extra point, Wes Heinel, number 7, John Corson will spot for the Knights. Ball is spotted. The kick is up. And it is good. 7-0 North Penn into the lead, just shy of a minute and a half into this game. Chad, that's a huge play for the Knights early on to get on the board and in the lead.
Well, having a huge run like that should give your team a lot of motivation. Should hope. I bet you North Penn's hoping, and that'll suppress LC's hopes.
Yeah, well, Lansdale Catholic, we should mention this. They're a AAA school, and they qualified in the District 1 AAA playoffs. They played 2 Quad A schools this year, Bethlehem Catholic and Springford, who was in the Pac-10. They lost by a combined score of 90-7 in those 2 games. 55-0 to Becca High, as we had mentioned earlier, and 35-7 to Springford. So not good luck for Lansdale Catholic against the big schools this year. And a lot of that has to do with size up front. You look at the Lansdale Catholic defensive line. They have one big guy, John Briner, who's 275, but Panico, Keating, and Stairriker are about 220 pounds each. And the offensive line of North Penn will just blow them off the ball all game. On the kick for North Penn, Wes Heinel back deep to receive, number 13. Joe Kellogg and number 15, Joe Judge. It's a low-line drive kick by Heinel, picked up at the 10 by Kellogg. And he is met by Fran Mahan at the 20-yard line and dropped. Good downfield coverage by the kickoff unit.
Well, it's the second squib kick we've seen today. I don't know if the kickers are having trouble planting their foot to get underneath the ball, or if that's the game plan, keep it low and hope they fumble it off the pickup.
Backs and receivers for Lansdale Catholic. The quarterback, Judge. Byers, the halfback. Maloney, the fullback. Kellogg and Herman are the wideouts. Mike McCosker, John Briner, Chris Quinn, Chip Panico, and Scott Keating on the offensive line. Kevin Maloney, the tight end. We'll see if LC goes to the air right away. At quarterback, Joe Judge. He will hand off up the middle. And met after a 5-yard gain by Steve Wagner is Jack Byers. It'll be 2nd and 5 up front for the North Penn defense. From left to right, Dan Chang, Jeff Craig, Fran Mahan, and Dave Koslow going to Penn State next year for the Knights. Colinello, Leonard, Kapusta, and Kucklick are the 4 linebackers. Steve Wagner in for Mike Landis at cornerback. Heike Johnson, the safety, and Aaron Thomas, one of the best pass coverage men in the league. 7-0 North Penn, 10:04 and counting in the first quarter. 2nd and 6 for LC, ball at their 24-yard line. Into motion, Wint Bruner. It goes up the middle once again to Byers. He slashes forward for about a 3 or 4 yard gain, just shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1 for Lansdale Catholic after the Byers run up the middle.
I was surprised Byers was able to make that cut. It's pretty muddy down on the field where they're at.
Yeah, we saw that in the CB West game, Chad. Granted, the CB West game, the field was in a little bit worse condition, but the outside running game really takes a hit, and we saw that North Penn went up the middle on 3 straight plays and got a touchdown. Here's a handoff up the middle, and he is met at the line of scrimmage. Judge thinks he has the first down. We'll see where they spot it. Getting the carry on that play was Mark Bruner. This is awfully close to the first down. There might be a measurement. No, they're not even going to measure. They're short, and they're going to bring on the punt team. Chad, one thing you have to be careful of if you're North Penn. Lansdale Catholic and North Penn have a thing for trying trick plays in the Thanksgiving game. You never know if there's going to be a fake punt. You have to stay at home.
Well, the LC punter also has to be aware this ball could be really slippery and it could be snapped over his head.
So Kevin Maloney is on to punt, and he gets it away. It's a low-line drive, and Aaron Thomas is going to let it go. It takes an LC bounce, And it will be downed at the 24-yard line of North Penn by Greg Gaffney, a sophomore, for the Crusaders. 7-0 North Penn in the lead. They control the ball with 8:35 to go. In the first quarter, they are moving the ball against Lansdale Catholic rather well. I was kind of surprised, Chad, to see North Penn go with that quarterback draw up the middle on the sneak. I don't know if that was a call from Coach Penn or a call at the line of scrimmage by Joe Talese, but whichever it was, it sure worked out well for the Knights.
And whoever called it was a great call.
So North Penn will get into a tight formation. Heike Johnson set up at halfback. Now it's a handoff up the middle to the fullback. Is that Mike Kapusta? I'm not sure. Yeah, it was Mike Kapusta. He's met for a 1-yard loss in the backfield by Jack Byers. So it's 2nd and 11 for North Penn. Ball at the 24-yard line. Clock continuing to run here. And North Penn, we saw Chad last year get up to a 21-0 lead at Thanksgiving. And they never looked back until Lansdale Catholic came back and got into the lead, and then North Penn came back. So even if North Penn's in the lead here, this game is never over. Quick pitch to Heike Johnson off the right side, and he is drilled in the backfield by Chip Panico, who brings him down for a 1-yard loss. 3rd and 11 at the 23-yard line of North Penn. So we'll see if the Knights go to the passing attack here. I thought they might have put the ball in the air on that last 3rd down conversion, but they ran right up the middle and go 66 yards on the play. Joe Talese comes in with the play from the sideline. And we'll see what formation the Knights go into. That's their basic formation. They got 3 backs, Kucklick, Kapusta, and Johnson. It's going to be a play-action pass. Hurts on the cross. No, he goes to Fitzpatrick. Knocked away. Good defensive play by number 13, Joe Kellogg. Fans on North Penn side calling for a flag. It appeared to me that they got a pretty clean play on that, Chet.
I thought he had his shoulder on top trying to push off and get over top and knock the ball away.
Well, that's going to bring up a 4th and 11 for North Penn, and they're going to be forced to punt. So what they did there, they set that up nicely. They crossed Matt Hurts and Evan Fitzpatrick in the middle for a little pick play, but it just did not work out. Jack Byers is back to receive for Lansdale Catholic. Here's John Corson's punt. It's a high end-over-end punt. The wind knocking it down close to midfield. It takes a Lansdale Catholic bounce, and LC will have good field position at the 44-yard line. Let's go down on the field to Melissa Croak, standing by with North Penn's principal, Dr. Cotter. Melissa?
Hey, Kyle. I'm here with Dr. Cotter. Dr. Cotter, what do you think of the field conditions for today's game?
Well, I think the field's playable. It's unfortunate that it's raining at the moment. We would have liked another day, but this is Thanksgiving Day. I've been saying it's kind of like spring in Green Bay. So hopefully we'll have a good game. Hopefully both teams will be able to execute the things they want to execute. We were worrisome that if we had canceled today, people that have plans over this holiday weekend wouldn't be able to come to the game and those type of things, so we decided to go with it today.
And this is a Thanksgiving tradition.
Thanksgiving tradition, a wet one today.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Thank
Cotter.
you.
Back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Melissa. Good job down there on 1st and 10. The Crusaders went with a pass play. Joe Judge, the quarterback, throwing to his favorite receiver, Joe Kellogg, but the connection was incomplete, so it will be 2nd and 10 for the Crusaders. Joe Judge, one of the leading receivers in the area, comes into this game. I should say Joe Kellogg comes into the game with 51 catches for 885 yards. He's the go-to guy for the Crusaders. Quick counter inside to Jack Byers. He breaks free. He's looking to cut it up the field, and he gets 15 yards. 1st and 10 for the Crusaders. And there's going to be a flag on the play. This might be a late hit. We'll see what the call is.
I'll see right there, stealing a page out of North Penn's playbook, running the inside reverse.
It's going to be a face mask against North Penn, and that will be a 15-yard penalty at the end of the run. Of course, in high school, there is no 5-yard face mask. Every face mask is 15 yards. That's a crucial penalty. LC will be in prime position to score a touchdown here. Clock stops, 6:44 to go. And Lansdale Catholic will have 1st and 10 from the North Penn 13-yard line. LC coming to the ball quickly. Lined up in the backfield for the Crusaders is Ryan Maloney, number 36. It goes to him off tackle, up the middle. He rolls over the North Penn defense, tackled by Wagner and Johnson at the 3-yard line. First and goal now for the Crusaders. I believe he has the first down. Yes, he does. First and goal for the Crusaders. North Penn bringing in the big guys. Corey Jackson coming in, along with Ray McKnight, a sophomore. Coming out, Jeff Craig and Steve Wagner and Jeff Michael. Crusaders will split twins to the left side of the field. It's going to be up the middle. And now Ryan Maloney does not get it. He's knocked backwards at the line of scrimmage by the North Penn defensive line. It'll be second and goal from the 4-yard line.
North Penn needs to come up with a big stop right here, keep the lead, and also keep their team psyched.
Well, as you can see, the rain's starting to pick up here. And Chad, we said that the game was in question beforehand, but we're playing, and I'd like to say that it's not necessarily Thanksgiving weather, but this is definitely football weather. Split to the left side, Kellogg and Belfatti into motion. Go the Crusaders, a quick slant intended for Kellogg, a poorly thrown ball, good pressure on the quarterback by Kapusta, and it will be third and goal.
I think Mike Kapusta came through that line almost completely untouched.
He sure did, and Kellogg, that's a Judge has a 3-step drop there, and you got to have time to throw a 3-step drop, and your offensive line doesn't give you 2 seconds to throw a quick slant. It's going to be a long day for Judge. Third and goal for the Knights. For the Crusaders, I should say. Here we go. Judge drops back, over the middle, fires. Good defense by North Penn. Was that Martin Leonard? I think so. Intended receiver was the tight end, Kevin Maloney. So North Penn comes up with a stop. We'll see if the Crusaders go for it. Not going to risk a kick here in the muddy conditions. Let's take a look at this play by Martin Leonard. It looks like it kind of indirectly hit him in the back, but a good play by Leonard to be in position, lined up on Maloney. Yeah, it hit him in the helmet. How about that? Leonard didn't even know what hit him, but works out well for the Knights, and it is fourth and goal for the Crusaders. Judge at quarterback. Into motion goes Maloney. Judge goes up the middle, and I don't think he got in. First and 10 for North Penn. They come up with a goal line stand, so preserving the shutout early on with 5:42 to go. Good job by the North Penn defense not to let Judge come up the middle on that QB sneak.
Well, North Penn defense right there looked like the North Penn defense of old, just stopping every single thing you throw at them.
Yeah, Chad, you have to say, as Coach Algio talks to Joe Judge on the far sideline, these conditions favor North Penn in this type of game. The passing game for LC has been taken away by this rain and a slight breeze out here at Crawford Stadium. Double tight end for North Penn, Talese at quarterback. Kapusta lined up in the backfield. It goes to Kapusta up the middle. He barely gets anywhere on forward. He gets tackled in the end zone, but forward progress, they'll get him out to the 1-yard line, so not a safety. I don't know, Chad. North Penn, we might see Aaron Thomas 98-yard run here. We saw one of them against Abington earlier in the season. The longest run in North Penn history.
I'm going to assume that LC is going to be looking for that and has North Penn pretty well scouted.
Well, as we said at the top of the show, we have a top 10 put together, and at the end of this possession, in between North Penn and Lansdale Catholic, we'll go to number 9, and I'm sure if you are a North Penn football fan, you'll remember this play from last year. 2nd and 9 for the Knights. It goes to Heike Johnson off tackle. He falls forward for about 2 or 3 yards. It'll be 3rd and 5.
North Penn needs to get the first down here. With the field being so muddy, I don't know if they're going to be able to punt if it becomes 4th.
Third and 6 for the Knights at the 5-yard line. They'll bring in the quick players, Evan Fitzpatrick and Clay Kucklick, taking out Aaron Thomas and Matty Bardwin. LC, of course, runs a 4-3 base defense, but they like to switch to a 6-1, and it looks like that's what they're doing here, bringing it in tight, showing blitz. Here goes Heike Johnson off left tackle. He is wrapped up in the backfield and dropped for a loss by Kevin Bonner. 4th and 7 for North Penn. They're going to bring in Corson to punt. So North Penn unlike how they did against Abington, sort of conceding a punt there, not trying anything risky. And they're just going to let Corson punt away into the wind nonetheless. So LC should be in good field position after this punt.
Well, Penn obviously is relying a lot on his defense this game.
Here's where the long snap becomes crucial for the Knights. Dave Messerschmidt, the long snapper. Good snap back to Corson. Kick is away. It's high and it's wobbling. Byers takes it at the North Penn 35-yard line on the fair catch, and LC will take over. Let's send it down to Melissa. Who you got, Melissa?
All right, hi, Kyle. I'm here with a water girl. What's your name?
Caitlin Smith.
And who's your brother? Who's on your pan?
Kyle Smith.
And what is your job here?
I'm the water girl.
You're the water girl, so you give water to the players?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the rain?
It's pretty cold.
It's pretty cold? Yeah? So who do you think's going to win today's game, huh?
The Knights.
The Knights, yeah. All right, you heard it right here. Back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Melissa. Right after this play, we'll take a look at the number 9 top 10 as promised. So after 1st and 10 for LC, we'll take a look at that play. Ball is now in play. North Penn's defense changing around. LC has Joe Judge at quarterback. 3-step drop, quick slant over the middle. Good tackle by Steve Wagner, but it is caught, however, by Dave Belfatti. Right now we're going to go to that number 9 all-time play. And this was against CB East last year. Let's check it out.
Up the middle to Bielhauer. Touchdown, Knights! Nate Bielhauer! The Knights have taken the lead. Another great call, Joe. Nate Bielhauer up the middle on a goal line situation. This crowd is going nuts.
That, of course, last year against CB East, capping an incredible comeback, a 3-yard touchdown run by Bielhauer. Quick stand-up pass. Oh, what a hit. Oh, my goodness. Number 83 for Lansdale Catholic, Kevin Maloney, almost got decapitated on that hit by Heike Johnson. Or I beg your pardon, that might have been Mike Capusto on that hit. I didn't pick up the number, but let's take a look at it, see if we can pick it up. This was a heck of a hit. Well, that was Heike Johnson. Man, he packs a punch for being a kid his size, only 6 foot 180. That was a Mack truck running over Maloney right there. 3rd and a very short one for Lansdale Catholic, trying to drive in North Penn territory. The ball is at the 26-yard line. Byers will be the deep back. Might see a quarterback sneak here. Now it goes to Byers on the draw. He runs past the North Penn defense and is tackled by Johnson. You saw Martin Leonard visibly upset there. Had a chance to take him down in the backfield, but he broke free. And Johnson tackles him at the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Crusaders.
Well, that's twice now we've seen the North Penn linebackers breaking through the line as soon as the ball snaps untouched. If that would have been a pass, Judge would have been dead in the backfield.
2:04 to go in the first quarter. North Penn leads 7-0 here on North Penn Television. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Glad you could join us. LC will send 3 wide receivers. Quick stand-up pass. Oh, he is wide open. Look at this. It's Brian Herman. He's down to the 5-yard line and inside down to the 1-yard line. Oh, wow. Looked like LC kind of fooled everybody with a quick count there. Let's take a quick look. They're just going to come up to the ball and kind of nonchalantly throw. You see number 35 in the backfield, Mark Bruner, just standing there, and Wagner does a good job to drag him down from behind. So the trickery on Thanksgiving continues for Lansdale Catholic. Coach Algio always seems to have something up his sleeve.
I don't even think there's anybody covering him.
Now, he was pretty much about as wide open as you can get. Twins to the left for LC. Up the middle it goes. Touchdown Crusaders, number 36. Ryan Maloney is into the end zone, and LC is right back in this game. That was actually Mark Bruner, I beg your pardon, number 35. We'll take a look at this run up the middle. This is a bread and butter play for LC, the fullback draw up the middle. And it was Mark Bruner right up the middle, one of the captains for the Crusaders. Extra point to follow. Now, Chad, we saw last year LC went with a fake extra point when they pretended that they forgot to bring the block out on the field, but they clearly have the block down. High snap spotted. Keating's kick is up. And it is no good, wide left, so North Penn maintains a 1-point lead, 7-6.
I don't know, Kyle. Heike Johnson might have got a piece of it. If not, he was pretty darn close.
Yeah, it just appeared that, the high snap kind of messed up the timing for everybody. And, you got to have a good spot. It looked like a good spot, but it took him a little long to get the ball down. And that kick was no good. North Penn leads 7-6 here at Crawford Stadium. So North Penn has kind of been in bad field position for this entire game. They've had 3 drives, and they haven't gotten past the midfield, unless you're counting, of course, the Joe Talese touchdown run. They have not run a play from scrimmage in Lansdale Catholic territory. So Keating will come on to kick again, and we'll see if we can get a kickoff here that is not a squib kick. We've had 2 of them already. And after this kickoff, we'll be going to the number 8 play in our top 10. And we'll be going back to last year's Thanksgiving game. Here's Keating's kick. It's another, looks like he's intentionally doing that. Larry Cannon falls on it, but there's a flag on the play. Looks like LC was offsides on this kickoff. That's usually what happens when that line judge throws a flag on the kickoff. We'll see what they have. And it was offside, and they're going to back it up 5 yards and kick again.
In high school football, it's pretty hard to understand why someone would be offsides on a kickoff.
At any level of football, for that matter, it's pretty obvious. Stay behind the 40-yard line until the ball's kicked. It's not that hard to do. Thomas and Johnson are now cheating up, anticipating another short kick by Keating. But this is a good strategy by LC. Keep the ball away from the 2 quickest kids on North Penn's team so they don't get a chance to burn you on a kickoff return. Well, this one he's going to go deep with, and it's taken by Thomas at the 20-yard line. He's going to send it out to the far side of the field, and look at him go! 1 man to beat, it's Keating. He hurdles him, and Keating brings him down. 1st and 10, North Penn. A good return by Thomas out to the LC 47-yard line. Let's go back to last year's Thanksgiving game and take a look at the number 8 play in our top 10 over the past 2 years. This is a tackle-eligible pass from Parentozzi to Hurts.
Setback is Fieldhauer. Long count by Parentozzi. 3-step drop has a wide open. Matt Hurts down the middle of the field. Touchdown, nice! Matt Hurts on the incredible 3-step drop. Tight end streak giving North Penn a third.
Well, that was a little bit better weather conditions last year at Thanksgiving, but a great play by Matt Hurts, who is lined up at tight end for the Knights today. Joe Talese at quarterback. Kapusta in front of Johnson. Clay Kucklick in the slot. LC appeared to have jumped, but got back on side. Now Kucklick goes into motion. Up the middle to Johnson. He'll pick up about 3 yards for North Penn inside the 44-yard line. Tackle made by Sterreicher of the Crusaders. 2nd and 7 for the Knights.
Well, I think we're going to see North Penn staying inside. You get outside, and sometimes it becomes too hard to cut, especially when you have so much speed.
Yeah, you know, the sweep game for North Penn has been taken away. You can't make those cuts to the outside. So you might just see the I-veer all day from North Penn, and that's what they gave LC last year. Delise with a long count. Here's the I-veer to Johnson. He's wrapped up by Kevin Maloney. After another 3-yard gain, he's out to the 40-yard line, just shy of it. And it'll be 3rd and a long 3 for North Penn. 40 seconds to go in the opening quarter. North Penn with that 7-6 lead in the first quarter. Time winding down in the opening 12 minutes of play. Talese with a very long count, trying to stall as much as he can. Kucklick into motion. Johnson up the middle. He slashes forward. He's very close to the first down. We'll see where they spot it. And he has the first down. That will wrap up the first quarter. Let's send it down to the field.
T-A-N.
Wartan,
Yeah.
okay. Hey, Kyle, we're here at Kevin Wartan. Kevin, why'd you come to the game?
My girlfriend made me.
Oh, but are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah, I love North Penn.
So who do you think is going to win?
I guess North Penn, since they're pretty good this year, you know?
Okay.
So, good stuff.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Melissa. And if we have a chance, we're going to take a look at the number 7 play in the top 10. It's actually going to be 2 different plays. You'll remember this from earlier in the season. Evan Fitzpatrick against Penn Ridge, leading the Knights to a comeback. Let's check it out.
Talese in the shotgun formation. Rolls left. He has Fitzpatrick wide open. He goes deep. He catches it. 10-5. Touchdown, Knights. 7 Fitzpatrick. He had him on the out-and-up pattern, faked out the Penn Ridge defense, and the Knights are right back in this ballgame. Oh, my. Then 8. Talese in the...
Well, that was the first half of the top of the number 7 play. The second half of that was actually another catch by Fitzpatrick, setting up the game-winning touchdown. And that was a great comeback by North Penn in the first game of the season against Penn Ridge. And let's check it out again.
8. Khalid's in the shotgun formation. They need 8 yards. He rolls right. He fires. He's going deep for Fitzpatrick. It's caught down at the 1-yard line. I don't believe it. Evan Fitzpatrick once again coming up huge. First and 10.
So that was the number 7 play in the top 10. Chad, let's take a look at some of the stats from the first quarter.
North Penn passing 0, rushing 80 yards. That's mostly because of their first drive. Other than that, they have not had any. Johnson on 8 carries has 15 yards. Talese is 0 for 1. He has 1 carry for 64 yards, and Kapusta 2 carries for 1 yard. LC has 28 yards passing, 33 yards rushing, and a total of 61 yards. Judge is 3 for 6 with 0 carries for 0 yards.
Up the middle it goes quickly to Mike Kapusta, a 6-yard gain right away to start off the second quarter. North Penn leading 7-6. Kapusta on the fullback draw for 6. And it is 2nd and 4 for the Knights at the Lansdale Catholic 31-yard line. So Kapusta, we saw in the beginning of the season, kind of used as a backup fullback, mainly a linebacker, but has made a name for himself in the past couple of weeks, especially against CB East. He had 3 touchdowns in that game. He has been a great blocker for North Penn in this season. It's going to be Johnson off left tackle, runs into his own man and is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage by several Crusader defenders. And it will be 3rd and 5 for North Penn. At the bottom of the pile, Jack Byers for the Crusaders. Well, Chad, the rain has kind of subsided. It's kind of just a drizzle right now. We might see North Penn go to the air. They bring in Fitzpatrick, and we saw him just on that number 7 out of our top 10 right there. They run that out and up pattern. You never know what's going to happen. They'll split him to the left side. Clay Kucklick in the slot. Kapusta and Johnson the backs. It's up the middle to Johnson. Trying to fight forward. He's about 2 yards short of the first down. This could be 4-down territory for the Knights, Chad.
Well, definitely inside the other team's 45, 40. You definitely go for it, especially with weather like this. You never know what can happen on the punt.
Well, the ball is at the 29-yard line of Lansdale Catholic. It's 4th and about 2 yards. They're going to bring in several wide receivers, taking out Kucklick and Matt Hertz. Aaron Thomas will go to the far side of the field. There'll be trips to the left. Colinello, Johnson, and Fitzpatrick. The single setback, Kapusta. It's going to be a keeper by Talese, and a good read by the Lansdale Catholic defense. Bringing him down in the backfield is Bill Andrioni. 1st and 10 for the Crusaders. There you see, Chad, Joe Talese trying to get that bootleg and could not get the foot speed necessary because of this mud down here. Good pursuit by the LC defense, though.
Well, it was also decent containment by Chip Panica.
Yeah, forcing Talese to keep going parallel to the line of scrimmage and not cutting up the field. Crusaders take over their own 30-yard line, trailing by 1, 7-6. Double tight formation for the Crusaders. It's a quick draw to Jack Byers. He gets the corner and runs over Steve Wagner, but is driven out of bounds after a 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6 for the Crusaders at the 34-yard line.
I think this is the most physical game I've seen Steve Wagner play this year.
Yeah, he's had a couple big hits early on for the Crusaders. Byers comes into this game with 559 yards rushing, averaging 5.8 per carry. 3 touchdowns for the Crusaders. But just to put this into perspective, Byers has 97 carries, Heike Johnson 194. So Byers, typical of a rushing offense or a passing offense, not getting as many carries as he would like. This time it's the same play, a draw to the other side, and he's going to lose close to 3 yards on this play. 3rd and 9 for Lansdale Catholic at their own 32-yard line.
Well, I think the North Penn's defensive lines finally learned to look for that draw play.
Yeah, and you'll see Lansdale Catholic, they'll run a play-action pass off of that play. They'll use that play to keep North Penn's defense honest, and they'll just run the the play action pass, and they're going to go with 4 wide receivers right now. Single setback is Ryan Maloney. Judge with a quick drop. He's evading protection, and Koslow brings him down from behind. Big hit by the big man. DC brings him down for a 6-yard loss. It'll be 4th and long for the Crusaders.
That was an extremely hard hit from behind.
Yeah, you get the helmet right in the back of the quarterback, and it's going to hurt tomorrow. Let's check it out real quick. And you're going to watch Dave Koslow come off the left end. A good job by Judge to evade this pass rush, but then Koslow just buries him in the backfield. Big hit for the big man. Maloney's punt is away. It's angling toward the sideline. Thomas is going to let it go out of bounds, and it does at the 32-yard line of North Penn, where it will be 1st and 10 for the Knights. So North Penn is actually the visiting team today, as they're in the white jerseys. It alternates every year. Of course, it's always played at Crawford Stadium. The only difference is the Knights get to call the coin toss, and LC gets to wear the dark jerseys. 8:26 to go in the first half. North Penn up by 1. Let's see where they go with this play. They're going to go double tight end, 2 wide receivers, 1 to each side. Johnson and Thomas. Kapusta in the backfield. Now Johnson will swing into motion, and it's given to him off tackle. And he breaks free. 1 man to beat Byers, and Byers brings him down just over midfield at the 47-yard line. A gain of close to 20. 1st and 10 North Penn. Good run by Heike Johnson.
That was excellent blocking by the North Penn Knights.
Let's take a look at this replay, and you'll see North Penn kind of change it up. Instead of going out of a flat formation, they put Johnson in motion to give him maybe a little bit of a head start on the LC defense. Good open field tackle by Byers and good angle of pursuit. Ball in Lansdale Catholic territory in the swamp at midfield. Joe Talese at quarterback for the Knights. Seems to be the only guy out there with a clean jersey. Backs in an open set. Kapusta in front of Johnson. It goes to Johnson. Spins forward for about a 3-yard gain at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Lansdale Catholic's John Briner. 2nd and 7 for the Knights. Joe Talese getting the play from Coach Mike Pettin Jr. of the Knights, and I did happen to spot Mike Pettin Sr. of the Central Bucks West Bucks. We might have a chance to talk with him later in the game if he comes up to the press box. We'll see. 2nd and 7. It's going to be a bootleg. Talese trying to get that corner. He does, and he is hit hard after a 2-yard gain, knocked out of bounds by Chip Panico and Bill Andrioni. Big hitters for the Crusaders.
Yeah, I wonder if Talese's head's ringing on that play. He got pummeled as he went out of bounds.
Yeah, let's check it out. And Talese really got hammered on this play. You like to see the quarterbacks just kind of race for the sideline, and Talese was trying to do that, but, you know, he lowered the shoulder, and he took a pretty big lick right there. Andrioni lowering the shoulder and driving Talese out of bounds. 3rd and a long 4 for North Penn. A big play here, trying to drive into Lansdale Catholic territory. And Talese calls for timeout. That'll be North Penn's first timeout. Well, while we have this timeout, we might pick up the number 6 play in our top 10, as, believe it or not, the sun is coming out here. Dan Chang, we're going to see against CB West earlier this year. Check it out.
Probably in four-down territory here. North Penn wants to come up with the stops. They'll probably have to come up with 2 in a row. Tight formation. It goes to Pichotti. Ball is loose. North Penn has it. Dan Chang. He's got the 50. He's gone. He is gone. North Penn is going to take the lead on a turnover. Touchdown Knights, Dan Chang. I don't believe it. 3rd and 1. Justin Pichotti, the very reliable running back, coughs up the football, and North Penn is in the lead. Oh, my.
Well, that was the biggest play of Dan Chang's career right there, coming up with a big defensive play, putting North Penn in an early lead against CB West in a game that they would eventually lose by 1 in similar conditions to what we have here, although, as we said right before we went to that play, the sun is out here at Crawford Stadium. And the clouds are starting to lift, so we might have a good weather for the finish here today. And that can obviously bode well for Lansdale Catholic. As long as it's not raining, they can start throwing the ball. And you really have to watch out for that connection, Joe Judge to Joe Kellogg. We saw last year Mike DeMartolier to Tim Herman, and it seems like these two juniors, Kellogg and Judge, have come right in and filled in for those two seniors who graduated, and it looks like the Crusaders haven't even missed a beat. 3rd and a long 4 for the Knights. Talese at quarterback. It goes up the middle quickly to Kapusta, and he is driven backwards after a 1-yard gain. It'll be 4th down for the Knights. Tackle made on that play once again by Scott Keating. 6'1", 250-pound sophomore, the biggest guy on that defensive line. Well, once again, Chad, the question is, do the North Penn Knights go for it here? 4th and 3 from the 40-yard line.
I think they're going to be going maybe for a pass. Evan Fitzpatrick, maybe a little 5 and out. Sun's coming out. Who knows? Ball may dry off a little.
Yeah, Corson's not even close to the sideline to go into punt. So here it is. Fitzpatrick split to the left. Kapusta in the wings position. Johnson with a false start, but he can reset himself. Oh, this is just a broken play. North Penn did not know what to do right there, and they give up the ball on downs. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Crusaders, an unfortunate break for the Knights.
So far, Kyle, in this game, North Penn has only had 1 first down.
Yeah, down on the sideline, I think Melissa Croak has somebody. Melissa. Oh, we're going to take the replay. Sorry about that. This was just a broken play, as you saw Heike Johnson. I don't know what was going to happen there. Talese tried to sneak, and LC was pretty pumped up. Melissa, you down there? Take it away.
Yeah, hey Kyle. I'm down here with Jake, security guard, and I was just wondering if there's been any problems because of this big crosstown rivalry.
No, none whatsoever. It's been a rivalry for about 25, 30 years now. And, Lansdale Catholic is a very orderly crowd, and our students here are very orderly. And there hasn't been any problems, and we don't anticipate any problems.
All right, that's great.
Yep.
Expect a good game today?
I hope so. I hope we come out on top.
Okay.
We probably will. And other than that, things look good.
All right, thank you very much.
And thank you very much. Happy holidays.
You too. Back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Melissa. Good job down there. 2nd and 6 for the Crusaders after Jack Byers' 4-yard run. Here's a draw up the middle to Byers once again. Martin Leonard in the backfield is hanging on for dear life, but Byers gets 2 yards after Leonard drags him down by his jersey. It'll be 3rd and 3 for the Knights, before the Crusaders.
Well, the one thing I've noticed the North Penn Knights doing pretty well this game is they were not doing so well their past couple of games. They are gang tackling again.
Yeah, that is a big thing. Against CB West in that playoff game, I was up there, and it seemed every play that North Penn ran, CB West had 5 or 6 black and gold jerseys all over the Knights, and North Penn struggled. And when you're facing a running back like Dustin Picciotti, who goes 240 pounds, one person is not going to bring him down. 3rd and a long 2 for the Crusaders. 3-step drop. Over the middle it goes. It's complete to Kellogg. Right over the middle in front of the North Penn defense. He's out to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 Crusaders. Quick slant from Judge to Kellogg. And LC has a 1st down.
That was a dangerous play by Heike going for the ball, trying to pick it off, and he did wind up getting burnt.
Let's take a look at this quick slant. A good ball by Judge. 3-step drop, waited for things to set up, and right in front, good point, Chad. Heike almost picked it off, but wound up getting burnt because of that. There's a delay here on the field. I'm not sure what for. The chains on the far side of the field, they're having a little bit of a difficulty with them. They might have gotten tangled there. But it is 1st and 10 from the North Penn 30-yard line. Lansdale Catholic trying to get into the lead here for the first time today, trailing 7-6. Weird. While we're waiting, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the 5th top 10 all-time play over the past 2 years in North Penn football. We're going to the Truman game in week 2.
They will split Osborne wide to the right side. Howard Assay to the near side. Long drop, he's going for it all. Thomas has a beat on it, it's picked off! He could go! He could go! Look at him go! Down to the 20, the 15, 10, 5, touchdown Knights! Aaron Thomas on the return! He goes 50 yards into the end zone! The Knights lead 27-0, a great return by Aaron Thomas. Quite possibly putting this
Well, I went a little crazy on that play, you could say, but it was definitely a great return by Aaron Thomas, our number 5 play over the past 2 years in North Penn football. 50-yard interception return for a touchdown by number 11, Aaron Thomas, and we thought we were going to see him break a return earlier in this game when he returned that kickoff deep into LC territory. It was just one step away from breaking that. Here we go, chains are fixed finally. 1st and 10 for the Crusaders at the North Penn 30-yard line. Clock now running, 4:40 to go in the opening quarter. Judge, the quarterback, hands off to Byers up the middle. He cuts outside, and look at him go. He's down to the 15, the 10, and down to the 5-yard line, inside to the 4. 1st and goal for the Crusaders. A great cut by Jack Byers to get outside. Went up the middle off tackle, bounced it out, and picked up close to 25 yards on that play.
Well, North Penn defense has to come up with another big stop here, Kyle. And there's only 4:27 left in the quarter before the half ends, and you're going to get the ball back, but you don't want to go into halftime losing.
And North Penn only has 2 timeouts left as they called a timeout on their last possession. Here's that cut by Byers to the outside, and he's driven down. Up the middle it goes, and is it in the end zone? I'm not sure, waiting for a sign. It's a quick draw up the middle. I don't think they give him the touchdown. He's shy of the goal line, did not break the plane, and it'll be 2nd and goal with the nose of the football virtually on the goal line. That last play went up the middle, and everybody in the stadium rooting for LC thought that ball was in the end zone, but the officials did not agree. North Penn stacking the line, trying to come up with a goal line stand. Crusaders in a double tight end formation. No receivers, quarterback sneak, touchdown Crusaders. Joe Judge up the middle, and the Crusaders are into the lead, 12-7. There you saw Chad LC splitting the wide receivers out, trying to fake the pass, but it was pretty obvious that they were going to go quarterback sneak, and here's a look at it. It's pretty easy to move the ball 1 foot, and that's all they needed.
Well, spreading out the receivers also spreads out defense and gives you a lot more room to run inside.
It's 12-7 with the extra point to follow. On to kick is Kevin Keating, the freshman kicker. Spotting the ball for the Crusaders is Jim Gook, the senior backup quarterback. Ball is spotted. It's a fake. It's going to be an option. Oh, this is wide open if you can find him. Into the end zone it goes. It's knocked down by Colinello. A good play. There you see another trick play on an extra point. Good job by North Penn's Mike Colinello to stay at home. 12-7 Crusaders. Let's go down on the field to Melissa. Take it away.
Hi, Kyle. I'm down here with Mr. Frederick. Mr. Frederick, do you think it was a good idea to have the game today with the inclement weather that we had this morning?
These types of decisions are always difficult. Obviously, when it was pouring rain, that makes things difficult. But right now, the sun's coming out, and people are really having a good time. So we're delighted to get the game in. This is a great community day. You know, there's a good crowd on hand when you take a look at around the stadium, despite the weather and everything. And it looks like things are. It's going to be a great battle out on the field.
Did all the reserve ticket holders, did they all show up? Did anyone not come out?
I don't know.
You don't know about that?
Don't know.
All right. Well, thank you anyway.
Thank you very much.
Okay, back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Melissa. And as you saw, the only empty section of the bleachers here was right behind Mr. Frederick, and that's actually the band section, and the Marching Knights are going to be here at halftime, and we'll bring that to you. But here we are back to live action. Keating on to kick off. Thomas and Johnson standing at their 15-yard line. LC trying to stay onside this time. Keating's kick is another squib kick, and it is bobbled by North Penn, but finally falling on it. I think that's Mike Kapusta. Yes, it was. So North Penn takes over at the 27-yard line. North Penn, 3:44 to go. The Knights have 2 timeouts left. They trail by 5, 12-7. And Chad, as we said last year, extra points come into play here. LC is 0 for 2 on their point after touchdown attempts. And that came into effect last year. They went for 2 on the first conversion, missed it, had to kind of play catch-up the rest of the game on their conversion attempts, and never scored an extra point, and they lost because of that. So North Penn, they continue to make their conversions. They'll have that step up on LC. Naked bootleg to Lees. He's going for Fitzpatrick, and it is caught at the midfield line. 1st and 10, North Penn. Fitzpatrick, a great over-the-shoulder catch. And Chad, that's a great ball by Joe Talese.
Yeah, that was an extremely great ball. He put it right in there where the defense back couldn't reach it, and right into Fitzpatrick's hands.
You like to see him throw that pass toward the sideline. Let's take a quick look at that. You always want to see the quarterback throw the ball between the receiver and the sideline, and there it is, a beautiful job by Fitzpatrick. Good concentration and good defense by Jack Byers. Just a better catch by Evan Fitzpatrick. 1st and 10 for the Knights at the 49-yard line of Lansdale Catholic. 3:25 to go in the opening quarter. Up the middle it goes to Kapusta, and that play is not there for North Penn today. Fullback up the middle has not worked. It is 2nd and 9 for North Penn after no gain on that play. 3:10 to go in the first half. It is 12-7 Crusaders into the lead.
Well, the thing with that play is, Kyle, it relies all on speed, and with this footing out here, you can't get too much going.
Yeah, that's correct. And, North Penn, as you said, trying to adapt to that condition, trying to run up the middle. But it just isn't there today. Lansdale Catholic, as we said, goes in the 4-3 defense, and we'll watch them shift here. They'll bring up 2 more guys and go into a sort of a 6-1 defense, and with man coverage on the wide receivers. Talese calling out the signals. The ball is loose. It's on the ground. Who has it? Lansdale Catholic saying that they have it, and they do. I don't believe it. Yes, it is Lansdale Catholic football. I didn't see who picked up the ball. It might have been Mark Bruner. It is 1st and 10 Lansdale Catholic, a costly turnover for North Penn. And LC has a short field to play with once again, only 50 yards to go for the score.
Well, LC through this whole game has been having pretty good field positioning.
Yeah, when you have a team that's playing with the short field, CB West did this to North Penn. They always had good field position. It's a heck of a lot different if you have to go 50 yards to score than if you have to go 98, as North Penn have, and they're backed up against their own goal line. 1st and 10 for the Crusaders, backs in an I formation. It's Maloney in front of Byers. Play action pass, pressure by Leonard, and he goes down. Joe Judge sacked for an 8-yard loss by the senior co-captain, Martin Leonard.
Well, that has to feel really good for Martin coming back from his injury in his first home game.
Let's take a look at this replay on Martin Leonard's sack. I'm sorry, we're going down to Melissa. Melissa, take it away.
Hey, Kyle. I'm here with Jim McAllister and his son, and this is my brother. And you guys have been dedicated fans all season. What do you think of the overall North Penn season?
They've had a good season. Coach has done a real good job with him. In 2 years that he's been with the team, he's turned them around. He's got a competitor here. He's got a good contender. I think maybe next year we could challenge CB West.
What do you think of the game so far?
Great game. Great day to play football. Muddy field and everything. 2 teams going at it, friends head to head. Couldn't ask for better.
All right. Jimmy, what do you think of all the mud? Would you like to play in all this mud?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think it's hard for them to play?
No, not really.
Not really? All right, Dan, who do you think's going to win today?
North Penn, definitely.
Definitely. All right. Back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Melissa. Jack Byers carried on that play. It is 3rd and about 15 for the Crusaders. There is a timeout on the field. I believe it was called by North Penn, if I'm not mistaken, trying to freeze the clock. 1:44 to go in the opening half. Lansdale Catholic leads 12-7. We might see the Crusaders go to the air here, Chad, looking for their wide receiver, Joe Kellogg, on this play. We saw that quick slant that's intended for maybe a 5-yard gain. They turned it into a 25-yard gain. And North Penn's defense, we've seen them do this. They play the cover 2 defense, and that middle section of the field is always wide open, and that quick slant is always there for Lansdale Catholic. We'll see if Coach Algio calls that.
Yeah, a lot of teams this year have been using that to their advantage, running off that zone defense by the Knights and just putting the ball right in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I mean, we see North Penn's team defense, their passing defense, they're only giving up like 60 yards passing per game. They're not real lax, we'd like to say, on defense for the pass, and they have not given up the big play for the most part this season. And Coach Pettin said coming into this game, not giving up the big play is a real key here for North Penn. Judge back to pass. Over the middle, it is the quick slant to Byers. He makes a sliding catch, but is well short of the first down. And another timeout on the field called by North Penn. That's their last timeout. Lansdale Catholic will most likely come on to punt as Coach Pettin pulls his troops off to the side of the field. North Penn will have just under a minute and a half to work with when they get the ball back, and they will probably get pinned down deep inside their territory with a good punt from Lansdale Catholic. So North Penn is going to have a tough time trying to score before the end of this half, and they would really like to come back into the lead before this half is over.
Well, we might see that inside reverse by North Penn with Aaron Thomas once they get the ball back. Just try to get something going. That's been their go-to play all year when they need to get their team psyched up.
Yeah, we've seen earlier in this game, North Penn has been lining up Clay Kuklick at that wing-back position where Aaron Thomas runs that inside reverse off. But, Aaron Thomas has been lined up at wide receiver. He is the fastest guy on North Penn. They might just send him down the field and throw it to him. We saw Talese run that pass to Evan Fitzpatrick. That was a great ball, one of the best ones he's thrown all year. And North Penn has good hands in Fitzpatrick and Thomas, so we might see them just go to the air and try to get down the field by virtue of passing.
Well, by passing the ball, you also open up your other options. You can spread out the defense and run the ball up the middle like they've been doing. And if you do pass and it's incomplete, it does stop the clock.
Well, Lansdale Catholic's going to go for it. Joe Judge at quarterback, 3-step drop. Over the middle it goes. It is incomplete. Good defense by Martin Leonard and Mike Kapusta covering. Number 83 for the Crusaders, Kevin Maloney. 1st and 10, North Penn. They do wind up with decent field position, ball at their own 48-yard line. We do remind you to stay tuned. Well, here's a replay. We'll get to that later. Quick 3-step drop and good play by Mike Kapusta to get his hands in there. We remind you to stay tuned. After the half, we're going to go right to North Penn News. Sarah Connett will be into the North Penn Television studios giving you an update on the goings-on around the North Penn School District. So stay with us at halftime. We'll also have the Marching Knights. So a jam-packed halftime here on Thanksgiving on North Penn Television. Joe Talese at quarterback. Here's a stand-up pass to Johnson. Oh, my, he is leveled by number 13, Joe Kellogg, in the backfield. He read that beautifully and stepped up right away and planted Heike Johnson at the 43-yard line. Let's take a look. And, Chad, this is just a huge hit. That one hurt. No huddle offense. North Penn rolling right. It's Talese. He's got time. He's going to run it, and he is leveled again. Oh, my. North Penn is getting drilled right now. Making that tackle was number 52, Matt Sterreicher. And it's 3rd and about 18 for the Crusaders, coming up with a good defensive showing here in the first half.
I couldn't really see that whole hit, Kyle, but from the angle I was at, it looked like Talese almost did a backflip.
Yeah, he got knocked backwards pretty harshly. And I think the Crusaders are calling timeout now, anticipating that they will get the ball back. 50 seconds left in the opening quarter, or in the opening half. North Penn trails by 5. And Chad, you see North Penn trying to change it up. They've tried different looks on offense. Lansdale Catholic's defense has done an excellent job of reading the keys on North Penn's offense.
Well, North Penn this whole year has had the I-veer, stand-up pass to high key, and the inside reverse to Aaron Thomas. They haven't really ran too many other plays.
Yeah, well, with 3rd and 17 here, you might see him go with that out and up. I'm not sure. I wasn't watching the receivers on that last pass play. Talese had rolled out to the right, sort of like he did on the out and up pattern. We might see him go to that here. Let's go down to Melissa real quick. Take it away, Melissa.
Hey, Kyle. What's your name?
Dave Topper.
Okay, and why'd you come out to the game?
Because my friend was going and I had nothing to do.
You had nothing to do. Well, has it been a good experience?
Yeah, it's fun. It's not raining anymore and it looks to be an even matchup.
An even matchup?
Yeah.
What do you think of the score, though?
We'll catch up.
We'll catch up?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
All right, back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Melissa. That was a 3rd down conversion by North Penn, and man, they had Evan Fitzpatrick wide open there. Maybe a slippery ball just got out of his hands.
Well, it looked like the LC defensive back was kind of hanging on his inside arm, and he had to try and catch it with his one hand, and it just slipped away.
It is 4th and 17, and North Penn will come on to punt. They're going to have to let the defense hang on for them for the rest of this half. 44 seconds to go. Good snap back to Corson. An end-over-end punt. And it takes a Lansdale Catholic bounce. Now it'll roll inside the 30-yard line down to the 27, where it is down by Larry Cannon with 33 seconds left in the second quarter. Lansdale Catholic 12, North Penn 7. We'll see if Lansdale Catholic tries to get some more points on the board or if they just take a knee and will go to the half leading by 5.
Well, LC once more getting some decent field position.
Yeah, knowing Coach Algio, he's not going to just take a knee. He's always got, as we said, something up his sleeve. You never know what's going to happen. And they're going to go with 3 wide receivers to the left side of the field. Maloney, Byers, and Kellogg. 3-step drop, quick slant It's a hitch and go, actually, and it's caught by Maloney. He's out across midfield. A hook and ladder play, Chad. That's once again, another trick play by Coach Algio. There's no end to his trickery. This is amazing.
Well, the best thing about that play is, Kyle, as soon as you catch the ball, you turn around, you pitch it. It's always a lateral, so you don't have to worry about that.
Let's take a look at this on the replay, and you saw it set up nicely. A perfect pitch, and Lansdale Catholic comes across. Big play by Kevin Maloney, getting the pitch from Joe Kellogg. I mean, Lansdale Catholic last year had run a play similar to the California Stanford from several years ago when they ran a kickoff return back at the end of the game, pitching the ball about 18 different times. Here's a screen pass set up. A good job by Judge to get rid of the ball before Jeff Craig hit him. And he throws the incomplete pass intended for Mark Bruner. It will be 2nd and 10 with 20 seconds left. You saw right there, Chad, LC sending all their wideouts straight down the field to sell the screen pass, and they had Bruner open in the flat, but just not enough time to throw the ball.
Well, it usually takes a little bit longer than the time the Judge had to set up a screen pass. You need to have your lineman get over there. You have to have your receiver facing the right way. And once more, the defensive line of the Knights is just flying through that offensive line.
2nd and 10 for the Crusaders. Split to the right side of the field. Tim Moyer and Jack Byers. There's a stand up to Kellogg. Slashes forward, and he smartly gets out of bounds after a 7-yard gain, stopping the clock. With 14 seconds to go, it will be 3rd and 7 for the 3rd and 3 for the Crusaders after the 7-yard gain. They lead by 5, trying to get some more points before this half is over. Ball is just outside the North Penn 41. We'll see if the Knights go into a prevent defense. Try to bend but not break here. 4 wideouts for the Crusaders. The lone setback is Mark Bruner. Judge. It's a Statue of Liberty play to Bruner. He slashes forward. The ball is loose. Who has it? I think LC has it, and they're going to call timeout. Once again, another crazy play by the Crusaders. A Statue of Liberty play to Bruner. That's incredible. Let's look at this, and you'll see what happens here is the quarterback goes back and just puts the ball in the belly of Bruner and fakes that he has the ball. It's almost like a draw, and you saw North Penn. It looked like Steve Wagner had his hands on the football but dropped it. So with 6 seconds left here, Lansdale Catholic will have 1 shot to the end zone most likely. We'll see him go to the air and see if North Penn brings in an extra defensive back. They lead by 5, and the ball's at the North Penn 29-yard line. Let's go down to the sideline to Melissa Croak. Take it away, Melissa.
All right, Kyle, we have some young fans right here. What do you guys think of the game?
Well, it's going good, and I hope we win.
You hope we win? What do you think of the game?
Well, we're losing, basically, and,
Do you hope we win, though?
Yes.
Yeah?
I need to win.
All right, and Giggles, what do you think? You think we're going to win? I guess so. All right, back to you, Kyle.
Good job down there, Melissa. Looks like we have a future broadcasting team down there. I don't know. 6 seconds left in this half. 12-7, North Penn trailing the Crusaders. LC trying with maybe just one more shot to the end zone to get a bigger lead here before the half is over. And Chad, looking back, North Penn has just kind of stalled in this first half. They looked like they were getting going at one point, and then they had the fumble, which turned it over to Lansdale Catholic, which produced a touchdown directly from it. I don't know what to say about North Penn. They're just going to have to pull it together in the second half.
Well, this game is definitely not over. LC came back last year in the second half and pretty much got their game going.
Here's Joe Judge stepping up in the pocket. Evades the sack. He's going to run it. And he is tackled, and that will bring up the end of the first half. That is a first down for Lansdale Catholic, but they lead by 5 points, 12-7 after the first half. A surprise here at North Penn's Crawford Stadium. A lot of people thought North Penn would be able to walk all over Lansdale Catholic. That's far from happening right now as Lansdale Catholic leads by 5, 12-7. Well, right now we're going to send it over to the North Penn Television studios and Sarah Connett with the North Penn News Update. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to the North Penn News Halftime Update. I'm Sarah Connett. We'll return to Crawford Stadium in just a few moments, but first, The students at the Knapp Elementary School welcomed nearly 300 grandparents to spend the day with their grandchildren. The grandparents shared experiences and stories about when they were students with their grandchildren's classes. Knapp Principal Larry Feely said the school is planning another Grandparents' Day next year. Montgomery Elementary School packed in nearly 300 students and parents for their yearly math night. The 2-hour event included 9 workstations featuring all types of math problems. Math night is held at all 13 elementary schools in the school district. 2 Penfield Middle School teachers recently received awards. Wayne Dallas was named as the State Middle School Teacher of the Year for Technology Education. In addition, Penfield's newest technology educational teacher, Jeff Testa, was recognized for having the Best Professional Article. Penndale 9th graders proved their talent on the stage this past weekend as they performed The Mouse That Roared. The comedy is about a small bankrupt country that declares war on the United States for money. The play is based on the movie of the same title. Over 80 students were recently inducted into the North Penn High School chapter of the Key Club. President Sarah Snyder then congratulated everyone on their pledge of service to the community and gave them all a certificate and a carnation. With the cold weather arriving, the North Penn High School addition has been boarded up and work has begun on the interior. Inside, crews are working on ductwork, wiring, and the welding of the stairwells. Construction is set to be complete next fall. North Penn High School hosted its 2nd annual Financial Aid Night. Here, parents learned how to fill out the free application for financial student aid and the importance of due dates. The event attracted over 180 parents and was a success for the 2nd straight year. And finally, the 15th annual North Penn Holiday Craft Show took place once again in the high school cafeteria. Over 50 vendors were present with crafts, jewelry, and furniture for the upcoming holidays. The craft show benefits the International Friendship Committee. And that's it for the North Penn News Halftime Update. Thanks for joining us, and now back to Crawford Stadium with Kyle and Chad.
You don't have to like me.
Or you can.
You don't have to run with me.
You really don't have to run away from me.
And we're not all that different.
I like good food, good music. I want a good job.
I want my kids to live in a world
where they are safe and loved and respected for who they are.
You don't have to like me, but if you talk to me,
you might.
We can end prejudice if we talk to each other. Call. Tell us what you'd do.
Together we can build one America.
What if you had to choose between a flower and an elephant? What would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a 1,000,000-year-old beach? Could you choose between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Now you can choose all these things. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with.
Welcome back to Crawford Stadium. At halftime, the Marching Knights are on the field under the direction of Anna Marie Cunningham and Brian Enline. The North Penn Marching Knights, the young person's guide to the arts. Enjoy. Well, an incredible performance by the Marching Knights, their last home performance here at Thanksgiving. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back after this short break on North Penn Television with a look at the first half stats. Back after this.
I hang out with a pretty trashy circle. The circle that helps this circle by recycling trash. We sort glass, plastic, separate cans, stack newspapers, and magazines. Now, thanks to us, there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. This cereal box wants your Sunday paper. These paper clips, in a more daring life, a 56 convertible. The circle works like this. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from or packaged in recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. It looks like this. Make a mental note. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
Call 1-800-CALL-EDF for your free Buy Recycled shopping guide. 1-800-CALL-EDF.
Be cool about fire safety.
Did you know that many fires started because kids played with matches and lighters?
It's really sad. The fire started with matches and lighters hurt thousands of people last year.
Like parents and grandparents?
And brothers and sisters. If you ever see matches or lighters, don't touch them.
Uh-oh! Somebody left out matches and a lighter.
Remember,
Wow!
keep your eyes open, and if you see these, tell a grown-up right away. But never touch them, and you'll be a real superhero.
Like a deputy fire marshal?
Exactly.
Don't touch matches or lighters. Tell a grown-up instead. Be cool about fire safety. Be cool.
We're back now at Crawford Stadium just before the start of the second half, and if you've followed North Penn throughout this season, you'd almost say that they're right where they want to be, down at halftime. They've had several come-from-behind wins this season. North Penn, of course, losing 12-7 to Lansdale Catholic here at the Thanksgiving game, the 17th meeting of the two teams. Chad, let's take a look at some of the team stats from the first half.
All right, North Penn has 2 first downs. LC has 4 first downs. North Penn has 24 yards passing and 105 yards rushing and 1 turnover. And LC has 77 yards passing, 67 yards rushing, and 144 yards total.
And 4 first downs to North Penn's stats. And really, Chad, you look at the numbers. North Penn's offense has really been limited to that 1 touchdown run by Joe Talese, that 64-yarder to put him in the lead early on. They have not been able to produce offense for the remainder of that first half. Looking at some of the individual numbers, Heike Johnson, who rolled over Lansdale Catholic last year, has 13 carries for just 32 yards. That's a big surprise. Jack Byers, his counterpart on Lansdale Catholic, has 12 carries for 55 yards. Joe Talese, 2 for 4 for 24. Joe Judge, 7 for 16 for 77 yards. Had a chance to talk with Jim Algio Sr., the head coach of Lansdale Catholic, earlier this week, and here's what he had to say.
Summarize your season. You know, you started off with a Becca high loss, 55-0, but your team did a good job of pulling itself together after that.
Well, we came into the season, we were very inexperienced and so forth, and had a bad game against Bethlehem Catholic, but the players' credit, they rebounded from that and accomplished a lot more than I think a lot of people thought they would.
Now, you talked, I saw the article yesterday in the paper about your passing attack and how you've dealt with blitzing defenses. North Penn has a pretty strong defense against the pass. Do you look to change up anything, or do you go to more short passes instead of trying to bomb it down the field?
Well, basically, we don't go in bombing down the field. We like to think that we can control the football with the passing game. It depends on just what they're doing against us with their pressure and also with their coverage. You have to be able to adjust to what they're doing, so I'm not quite sure what they'll do tomorrow.
Now, you lost DeMar DeLear and Herman to graduation. How have you dealt with putting in new faces at quarterback and wide receiver this year?
Well, Joe Judge has taken over at quarterback, and Joe Kellogg is the leading receiver on the team, so he replaced what contribution Tim Herman had made. And they've done a really outstanding job during the course of the year.
Heike Johnson for North Penn pretty much ran over you guys last year at 250 yards. Do you change up your defense to just basically key on Johnson, or do you stay at home more because North Penn has several more running backs now that are carrying the ball for them?
Well, we certainly have to be aware of what Heike Johnson can do, and we have to do some things defensively with that. But at the same time, you have to respect the fact that there are other players that can make big plays for North Penn too. And the quarterback is capable of doing that. Thomas is capable of doing that. They can get the ball downfield to Fitzpatrick. So they have a lot of weapons. And Heike, of course, is the highlighted one.
Okay, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Back now at Crawford Stadium, we're going to pick up this kickoff right now, and we'll head down to Melissa after this kickoff. It's Wes Heinel's kick. It's a high wobbler taken by Jack Byers, dropped at the 16-yard line. He's going to pick it up, and he spins off. He's still loose and is finally tackled by North Penn's number 80, Steve Francis. Right now, let's send it down to Melissa. What's up?
All right, Kyle, we're literally down on the field here in the mud. This is what the boys are dealing with. They're slipping and sliding all over. You can tell who plays and who doesn't just from looking at their jerseys. They're a mess. It is the Mud Bowl down here. It's amazing they're still on their feet. Back up to you, Kyle.
All right, Melissa, watch yourself down there. There's a lot of big guys down there, and very muddy, of course. It is 1st and 10 for Lansdale Catholic. Ball at the 18-yard line of the Crusaders after a bobbled kick return. So, Chad, North Penn's defense got to dig in right away.
Yeah, North Penn's defense definitely needs to come up with a stop here, get some decent field position.
And it is Jack Byers. Met at the line of scrimmage, maybe about a 1-yard gain on that play. You saw the Knights went with a 6-man front on that play, sort of adjusting to Lansdale Catholic not passing as often as they tend to, which has to go along with the field conditions. Running the ball today, and Jack Byers has risen to the occasion for the Crusaders, stepping up and having over 50 yards in that first half.
Well, last year, in the first half, the running backs barely even had 50 yards, let alone one of them having 50 yards, and they came back in the second quarter using their speed at Kevin Bonner.
Judge on the 5-step drop. He is sacked once again by Martin Leonard, his second of the day. Number 21 coming back for the Knights. Let's talk about Martin Leonard for a little bit here, Chad. He got injured the third week of the season, broke his leg, his lower leg. Had to sit on the sideline until the first playoff game against CB West 2 weeks ago. He's done a great job motivating this team, though.
Oh, definitely. This whole team's been playing, especially for him, mostly. You know, he's been a big part of this team. He's been using his mouth now verbally instead of using his big hits that he was using at the beginning of the season. And now that he's back, everybody's gathering around him once more.
And he has been playing a great game so far for North Penn. He's showing blitz again. It's Jack Byers wrapped up in the backfield. There is a flag on the play. Getting the tackle was Jeff Craig. It might be a hold. It was thrown by the umpire. It looked like Martin Leonard coming through the line got hogtied. North Penn will most likely decline this if it is a holding infraction. Well, the guys in the North Penn huddle signaling that it is a hold, and it indeed is a hold against Lansdale Catholic, and the Knights will decline that, and Lansdale Catholic will be forced to punt, so a 3-and-out for the Crusaders. North Penn's defense doing exactly what it wanted to do. It'll be 4th and about 18 for the Crusaders. The punter for the Crusaders, Kevin Maloney, is going to be punting from inside his own goal line. And the kick is away. It's end over end. It's a helicopter spin to it, and it takes another Lansdale Catholic bounce out to the 40-yard line. Good field position for the Knights to take over right here, Chad.
Well, besides their second to last drive they had in the first half, this is the best field position they've had all game.
And really, North Penn having to play the long field in the first half and LC playing the short field, and hopefully for the Knights, they're going to be able to reverse that trend and try to play on Lansdale Catholic's side of the field for the better part of this half. We'll see what they can do. And we'll see if they change up their offensive scheme. They went with those runs up the middle on the first drive, and it worked well, but then LC started keying on it, and they had nothing. We'll see if they go to the air now. Aaron Thomas is split to the left side. It is up the middle to Kapusta. And he gets 3 yards. It will be 2nd and 7 for North Penn at the Lansdale Catholic 37-yard line.
Well, with the field drying out a little, we may see a little bit more sweeps to the outside and a little bit more passing.
Yeah, in the first half, Chad, we saw a lot of accumulation of water on the field. The North Penn insignia at midfield was underwater, but it appears that the field has soaked it up and might have drained off to the sideline a little bit. And, from now on, the field will be drying out. I don't think there will be any more heavy downpours that we had before the game and during the first quarter. 2nd and a long 7 for the Knights. Hurts into motion, the tight end. It's going to be an I-Veer left. Johnson, oh my, Lansdale Catholic's defense is all over the I-Veer today. That tackle made by Ryan Maloney. Heike Johnson loses 2 yards, and it's 3rd and 10 for the Knights.
Well, right there, Matt Hurts got knocked off his block and tripped over his own feet, and Johnson had nowhere to go except for try and hurdle him, and he wound up hitting him.
Yeah, we looked at the numbers before the game, Chad, about North Penn's offense, and it was obvious coming into the game, 2,806 yards rushing, only 690 passing, that they are a run-the-ball team, and we've seen that all year. Lansdale Catholic, as we said, came in pretty much balanced, 50-50 on the rushing and the passing. Trips to the left for North Penn. Now no receivers as Kapusta comes in motion out of the backfield. It's Joe Talese throwing the stand-up to Heike Johnson, trying to break loose, and he does, and look at him go. One man to beat, and he is brought down by Joe Kellogg inside that 20-yard line down to the 19. Good call by Pettin on that play to give the ball to Heike Johnson.
Well, that's like we were saying earlier. North Penn's had their couple plays that they run. The I-Veer, the stand-up pass, which they run somewhat like a slant.
And here's a look at it, and this was set up nicely, and a good job by Johnson. Had a great block. I think that might have been Mike Kapusta out there knocking Kevin Bonner away right before Johnson was about to be tackled. So good downfield blocking by the Knights. 1st and 10, North Penn. It's a quarterback sneak. It's Joe Talese. He slashes forward close to another first down. He's short of it by a yard. And it will be 2nd and 1 for the North Penn Knights. Quick quarterback draw. They ran that play against CB East for about 46 yards earlier this season. So Joe Talese starting to move the ball for the North Penn Knights, and they're getting the job done right now against Lansdale Catholic, coming up with big plays when they need them. And working with a 2nd and 1 is a heck of a lot better than going 2nd and 10 every time. Backs in an I formation. Mike Kapusta, the fullback. Heike Johnson, the tailback. Clay Kucklick split as the wide receiver for the near side of the field. It goes to Johnson. Up the middle, he has the North Penn first down inside the 10-yard line down to about the 7. It will be 1st and goal for the Knights. Their first goal-to-go situation of the ball game.
Well, it looks like North Penn's going back to the original game plan. Go inside, get your offensive line firing off the ball, and just smash it down the other team's throat.
Yeah, you have to think that Coach Pettin got under the skin of his players at halftime in the locker room. It appeared to me, Chad, that they weren't playing as spirited a football as they tend to do, and the offensive line was kind of letting Lansdale Catholic come off the ball and beat them. 1st and goal from the 7. The give is to Kapusta. He goes off the left tackle and gets about 2 or 3 yards inside the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal for North Penn. You saw they brought in all the big guys there, and Heike Johnson now out of the game for North Penn, but he is coming back in. I don't know what to expect here from North Penn. They went double tight end, and I think they're going to stick with that formation as Ray McKnight comes out of the game for North Penn. And Lansdale Catholic will probably stack the line with a 6-man front going into their 6-1 defense, which they have used to stop the North Penn run so far today. Once again, a very tight formation, double tight end. Give us to Johnson. He bounces outside, uses the stiff arm, still free, but loses 2 yards. Good containment right there by Kevin Maloney, not letting Heike Johnson get outside.
Well, there's where playing that 6-3 comes in handy. You can spread out your defensive line and use your defensive ends to contain along with your outside linebackers.
You saw Heike Johnson trying to use a stiff arm on Maloney, but Maloney right there did a good job of containing, and the Crusaders defense brings Heike Johnson down. 3rd and goal from the 6. North Penn would consider this a failure if they don't get 6 points out of this possession, as they're inside the 7-yard line. 5:45 to go. Talese is in the shotgun. This might be a quarterback draw. No, it's a quick slant to Johnson. Oh, he dropped the football. He had a touchdown if he hung on to that one. That was a great ball by Talese. Maybe a bit too hot for Heike Johnson to handle. He's a bit upset, but that was definitely going to be a touchdown for North Penn.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier with the ball being slippery. He's wearing gloves, which tend to help when it's raining, but not when it's muddy, because you get the mud on there and the ball just continues to slide through your hands.
That's a good point. It is 4th and goal, and North Penn is going to go for it. A little confusion coming out of the huddle as to where people should be lining up. Now they're going to go into a shotgun formation. 5 wides for the Knights. Talese. Same play to Johnson. Oh, it looked like there might have been early contact. No flag. I don't believe it. Crowd visibly upset. Coach Pettin is fuming on the sideline.
Well, that was a gutsy call by Pettin to come out and run the same play.
I don't believe that play right there. Coach Pettin upset on the sideline, turning the ball over on downs for the second time on Thanksgiving to Lansdale Catholic. So it is 1st and 10 for the Crusaders. Now they have to play with the long field. The ball is on their own 6-yard line. 1st and 10 for LC. Joe Judge, the quarterback for the Crusaders, gives it up to Byers. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, bounces off a couple tackles, fights forward for 2 yards. Tackle made by Clay Kuklick and Steve Wagner for the Knights. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Crusaders.
That right there is exactly what I'm talking about by gang tackling. There was 1 Crusader there and there was 4 Knights. You just gang up on them and there's no way he can get away from you.
Larry Cannon checks into the game for North Penn, replacing Jeff Michael. And Larry Cannon lined up showing blitz. In comes Martin Leonard on the blitz as well. Here's Jack Byers, and he is tackled there again, Chad. Gang tackling by North Penn. And the big thing about gang tackling is it is intimidating, and it sends a message to the other team.
Well, Lansdale coach Algio cannot be happy with his offensive line. Looks like most of the time they've been standing around.
You're going across the offensive line for Lansdale Catholic. On the left side of the line, they're pretty big. The left tackle and left guard are McCosker and Briner, who go 270 and 260 respectively. But that right side of the line is pretty light for Lansdale Catholic. Quinn, the center, Panico, the guard, and Keating, the tackle, average about 230 apiece. And North Penn's defensive line can just eat them alive. Up the middle it goes to Bruner on 3rd and 5, and he did not get it, so Lansdale Catholic will be forced to punt, and once again, Chad, North Penn will have good field position. And they can only hope that Aaron Thomas can maybe put together a big return for him right now.
Well, I think we might see the ball be kicked off to the sideline like it was earlier and not give Thomas too much of a chance to return it, especially this close to the end zone.
Well, after this punt, we'll be checking out the sideline report with Melissa Croak, so stick around for that. Here's the punt by Maloney. And it takes a North Penn bounce. Once again, the Knights will have possession inside the 40-yard line down to the 37. Right now, let's go down the sideline with Melissa Croak. Take it away, Melissa.
All right, Kyle, we're here with Jared Gamble. Jared, how is it being a spectator today?
It's pretty hard for me because I got injured in the Norristown game. And, you know, you work hard all year, and then at the end of the season like this, it's always tough. But I got confidence that they'll be able to pull out the win.
Anything in particular Coach Pettin said to the guys in the locker room during halftime?
Nothing in particular. We just got to go out and make some plays. And basically, we're playing for pride out here, so.
Bragging rights.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you, Jared.
Thank you.
Back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Melissa. Good points made by Jared Gamble. You know, nothing spectacular. You're not going to make a drastic change against Lansdale Catholic, but it's just an emotional battle right now. They have to realize that this is the pride, and the thing Coach Pettin tells these guys is, you know, you're going to be 8-4 or 9-3. It's your decision. There's a bit of a timeout here. Dan Chang coming off the field. Is it an equipment problem? I'm not sure what, but they need to bring in Jason Alcott to replace him at center. I don't know what's going on. He had to come out because his equipment was not working properly, and this is tough for Jason Alcott. He's got to come in, get the play from Joe Talese, and they didn't have any time, obviously, to warm up on the sideline taking snaps, so this is going to be Real crucial, North Penn gets a good exchange here between center, and they do. It's a bootleg to Talese. He's rolling left. Fires for Thomas. A great sideline catch by Aaron Thomas. 1st and 10 North Penn. Good ball by Talese. Better hands by Thomas.
Oh, it was a great job by Thomas to keep his feet in bounds. He was running at full speed, and that's usually really hard to do.
It's a great over-the-shoulder catch, and once again, Chad, Joe Talese throwing between the receiver and the sideline.
At first, I thought Talese was going to throw that ball out of bounds, and obviously he didn't, but he still had room. He could have ran that if he wanted to.
1st and 10 for the Knights at the 20-yard line of Lansdale Catholic. Heike Johnson goes off tackle, and it is going to be blown dead. I believe the left tackle or tight end for North Penn went in motion on that play. We'll see what the call is from the official. And it is a false start against North Penn. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. 1st and 15 for the Knights from the 25-yard line. And Chad, we saw this earlier in the season for North Penn. They ran into trouble. They get down inside the 20-yard line, and they start taking penalties, and that knocks them out of possible field goal range or just makes it harder to get into the end zone. And if they're going to come back here, they have to play a more disciplined game of football.
Oh, definitely. But bringing in a cold center does not help your offensive line too much.
Talese at quarterback. Kapusta lined up as the fullback. Now Johnson goes into motion. It's going to be a keeper by Talese. Read nicely by the LC defensive line. And tackling him right off the play was Chip Panico. It is a 4-yard gain by Talese, maybe 3, and it'll be 2nd and 12 for North Penn from the 21-yard line. Coach Pettin and Coach Beck giving the play to Joe Talese as he comes into the game with Evan Fitzpatrick. And Lansdale Catholic's defensive line trying to come up with a big stand here. 2nd and 12. Two backs are Kapusta and Johnson. Once again, North Penn with a false start. Matt Hertz took off again. I think that's the 2nd false start for Hertz in the last 3 plays. And Chad, once again, the disciplined game of football has to be brought to the table for North Penn if they're going to come back in this game. You cannot keep taking these false start penalties, which are by and large mental mistakes.
Well, even if you have to look in at the ball, you have to look in at the ball. You cannot be flying off sides. I mean, sometimes if you're pretty close, they'll let you go, but not all the time. And Hertz can't really use the crowd as an excuse for noise because they're cold, they're freezing, they're not really doing anything.
Yeah, it's a pretty dead crowd right here, and that's due in part to North Penn. You know, they only scored 1 touchdown earlier in the game, and it's been pretty dead on this side of the field. Double tight end formation for the Knights. Talese goes back. Here's that inside reverse to Aaron Thomas. He bounces it outside. He gets the corner, lowers his shoulder, and gets inside the 18-yard line. Tackle made by Joe Kellogg for the Crusaders. And Chad, there you have that inside reverse that we were looking for in the first half and never got.
Well, LC did a great job of reading that. They filled up the inside and made him bounce it outside.
And here's a look at that, and you saw that play is hard to run with a 6-man front. There's just too many guys in there. You have guards pulling and everything on that play. You have fullbacks pulling to block for Thomas. You have the right guard pulling, and there's just a massive humanity in the trenches there, and it's hard, especially in these field conditions, to get the footing and get the acceleration from your linemen to get in front of Aaron Thomas and make that block, and it looked like just a couple of the North Penn blockers got tangled up at the line of scrimmage. It is 3rd and 10 from just inside the 20-yard line. 4 wide receivers for North Penn. Talese, it's a fade pattern to Fitzpatrick, out of bounds. He had him wide open, but just threw that ball a bit out of bounds. And all Coach Pettin can do on the sideline is just shrug his shoulders. And North Penn, not sure if they're going to go for it. I'm pretty sure they will. This might be a bit out of John Corson's range or Wes Heinel's range.
I don't know if it's more out of his range, but with this conditioning in here, you can't really try and kick this far of a field goal.
Well, they're going to go for it again. 4th and 10, just inside the 20-yard line. You might see that same play again, Chad. It's the same formation for the Knights, and that play was wide open for Fitzpatrick.
Talese just has to try and get that to the back of the end zone.
He's going to go out and up to Fitzpatrick, to the end zone. It is dropped, and a flag is down, and a good call by the official. Easily a push-off, although it might be on Fitzpatrick. You never know. The coverage for Lansdale Catholic on that play was by Brian Maloney, number 36, and we'll see where the call places it. It is pass interference, and it is against Lansdale Catholic. That'll be an automatic first down for North Penn. So finally, here we'll see this replay, Chad. and it's an out and up that worked against Penn Ridge. And right there, yeah, you saw, actually that was Bruner that pushed off, although I thought that it was Maloney over there, or Jack Byers actually pushed off of Evan Fitzpatrick, and that will give North Penn an automatic first down, moving the ball half the distance to the goal line. It'll be 1st and goal inside the 10 for the Knights, so they catch a break here.
I have to be honest with you, Kyle. I thought that flag was going to be on Fitzpatrick for pushing off.
Yeah, it looked like he did a little Michael Irvin there, doing a little push-off, trying to get extension to catch that ball, but if he got away with it, they rung up Jack Byers on that play. 1st and goal for the Knights, double tight end formation. Give his 2. No, it's Talese around the corner. Just misses getting inside the end zone, knocked out of bounds by Kevin Maloney at the 3-yard line. I was faked out on that play. I thought they went up the middle to Kapusta, but it was Talese around the bootleg. And North Penn runs that play an awful lot around the goal line area, and that's been successful for them this season.
Well, we have seen them running a lot more plays with Talese this game than pretty much he has all season. Usually we'll see him maybe run 2 or 3 times. This is like his 5th time running.
Kapusta lined up at the fullback position. The deep man, McKnight and Corey Jackson, are also up to block for North Penn. Here goes Kapusta. Touchdown Knights! Mike Kapusta up the middle on the 4-yard run. North Penn is in the lead 13-12. A great run up the middle. Good blocking and a good push-off by the offensive line.
Looks like North Penn's going to go for 2, Kyle.
Yeah, up by 1, go for 2. That's the general philosophy, and they'll come in and go for the 2-point conversion. And let's take a look at this replay, and you'll see just a great push. Good shot down there. Good work, camera guys. And up the middle it goes, and a great push. You saw Dan Chang, who is back in the game. They got his equipment fixed. And Corey Jackson lifting up Mike Kapusta. Great shot right there. Good work down there, guys. Ball will be on the 3-yard line for the 2-point conversion, and after this 2-point conversion attempt, we're going to go to the number 4 play over the past 2 years in North Penn football. So we'll see what North Penn does here. They like to pass the ball in 2-point conversions, and they're showing that with 5 wide receivers. Joe Talese at quarterback drops back. It's a slant to Johnson, and once again, for the 3rd time, they try to run that play, and they're unsuccessful. So that quick slant out of the shotgun, good read by LC's defense. The score remains 13-12, North Penn. Well, the number 4 play against in this top 10 came against Abington last year, and Tom Parentozzi and Nate Vielhauer hooked up for the longest touchdown pass of the season, a 75-yard strike. Check it out.
Johnson, the single setback. Vielhauer in the slot to the left. Payne and Fitzpatrick split left. Play action pass. Parentozzi rolling left. Thrown to Vielhauer. He has the completion. Plenty of running room. Can he get the first down? Yes, up the sideline. 50, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Knights. Nate Vielhauer. A 75-yard pass. What a play, Joe.
Well, that was, of course, last year against Abington. 75-yard pass play for the North Penn Knights, our number 4 play in our top 10. 3 more to go, so stay with us. 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. North Penn in that 1-point lead to see 13-12 after finally getting a good scoring drive, Chad, and they were helped, of course, on that 4th down play by that pass interference call against Jack Byers.
Well, it's exactly what we were talking about with the discipline. North Penn wasn't showing too great of a discipline, but then they got lucky, and LC pretty much blew it in their end of the field.
Well, Aaron Thomas is going to have to hold the ball for Wes Heinel. Back deep to receive for the Crusaders. Bonner. Oh, wow. Great kick by Heinel. It's taken by Joe Kellogg. He cuts free. He's out to the 30 and tackled by, I believe, number 60 for North Penn. That is, well, we don't have a number 60. But anyway, good tackle by the North Penn kickoff coverage unit. And it's out to the 30-yard line where Lansdale Catholic will take over 1st and 10.
No matter what North Penn tries to do, looks like LC usually does wind up with decent field position.
Well, the ball is at the 30-yard line. It's going to be a quick pitch to Jack Byers. Good seal block by the Lansdale Catholic offensive line. Out in front of Byers on that play were Mike McCosker and Scott Keating. They're the 2 big guys for Lansdale Catholic's line. 2nd and 4 for the Crusaders. Ball is spotted at the Lansdale Catholic 37-yard line. Into the I formation go the Crusaders. It's a pitch to Byers off the left side this time, and he's met by Dave Koslow and driven back. On forward progress, he'll get 1 yard. Let's go down to the field with Melissa and Doc Ryan. Take it away, Melissa.
Hi, Kyle. Yes, I'm here with Doc Ryan. Doc, who made the decision and how was it made that the game was going to be played today?
This morning about 8:30 when I got here, Mr. Jay Avesi, who's the principal of Lansdale Catholic, and I discussed it. Then we talked with Dr. Cotter, and it was decided at that time that we would play. That the forecast was that weather was going to break around 9:30. It was a little later than what the forecasters had said, but we figured that this is the type of game that everyone will come to anyhow, regardless of the weather, and certainly the nice crowd that we had here today proved us right.
And it ended up being beautiful.
It's a nice day.
Thank you.
Sure.
Back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Melissa. Very informative from Don Ryan, our athletic director here at North Penn High School. Meanwhile, it is 1st and 10 for the Crusaders after Joe Judge went with a quarterback sneak up the middle on 3rd and 2 for first down. Jack Byers is going to reverse his field. Oh, a great cut by Byers. He has the corner. He's out to the 40, the 35, and does the tightrope dance and is finally out of bounds at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Lansdale Catholic. What a great cut by Byers, Chad.
Oh, yeah, with this field conditioning like this, the way he just ran up to the line, all of a sudden switched directions. I don't know if you could see Dave Koslow, but he tried to turn around right here.
Yeah, we'll see it.
And he just slid about 2 feet. And it's a great job by Wagner trying to get over there and push him out of bounds.
Yeah, Wagner, of course, the last man to beat, and just didn't manage to get enough of Byers to knock him out. So it is 1st and 10 for the Crusaders, getting a big play there. 14 seconds left. The clock is stopped as Byers went out of bounds. And yet another problem in the North Penn huddle. I don't know what's going on. Well, the officials were talking with the Knights, but now we're underway again. North Penn up 13-12. And the big play for LC puts the ball at the 35-yard line of North Penn. 1st and 10 Crusaders. Twins to the right side of the field, Belfatti and Kellogg. It's an option. It goes to Byers. And he is drilled out of bounds by Steve Wagner, and the clock is running. And that will bring upon us the end of the third quarter with North Penn winning 13-12 right now. And when we have the chance, we'll take a look at the number 3 play of all time in the North Penn top 10. This goes back to last year's Thanksgiving play. Heike Johnson going 80 yards.
Heike Johnson in the backfield. Looked like he was going to start the play. Got away with maybe a false start there, but it's given to him anyway, and he breaks loose. What a move by Johnson. He's free after the 35, 40, 50. Heike Johnson is going to go. North Penn will take a 20-0 lead. No flag. Touchdown, Mike Heike Johnson.
Well, that was the number 3 play of all time in North Penn football. 2 to go, so stay with us. We'll have them for you at the end of this ball game. And speaking of the end of this game, stay with us because we're going to try to get an interview with Coach Mike Pettin Jr. of the North Penn Knights at the end of the game, and Melissa will be down there on the field getting interviews with some of the players at the end of our broadcast. And Chad, we'd like to say at this time, you and I, this is our last game calling football. It's been great, and we got a couple people to thank. Bob Gilmer, Mary Fakish, our 2 advisors, and all these camera people out here have just done yeoman work for us. It's been incredible. They've been, just to put out an example, CB West game. That was crazy. There was chaos all over the place, but we put it together, and these kids, all of us are the camera crew you can't say enough about. They're out there in a monsoon, and we were out here this morning. These guys are up on top of the press box with 50-mile-an-hour winds, a driving rain, setting this up. You can't thank them enough.
Kyle, you can. Just thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's been fun these past 2 years calling the football games, and something I'm going to miss, that's for sure. Nothing I love more than a North Penn football game here at Crawford Stadium, and this is a classic right now. Once again, another nail-biter here, 13-12 as we start the fourth quarter. Up the middle goes Byers, and he is met by Jeff Craig after a 1-yard gain to the 30-yard line. It will be 3rd and 5 for the Crusaders. Let's go down on the field to Melissa Croak. Who do you have, Melissa?
Hi, Kyle. I've got some fans here. What's your name?
Jen Keller. Trish McNutt.
And why'd you come out to the game?
Because it's a Thanksgiving game, and it's our last game of my senior year, so I wanted to come and see it.
Uh-huh. And what'd you think?
I thought that it was fun, but that the fans weren't as into it as they usually are.
Mm-hmm. Now we're finally in the lead. Do you think we can hold it?
Yep, I hope so.
Okay. Thank you. Up to Kyle.
Thank you, Melissa. 3rd and 5 for the Crusaders. Judge rolling right. Ball is tipped. That is ruled is it ruled a fumble or a forward pass? I don't know. Now they're ruling incomplete pass. Oh, I don't know about this one, Chad. We might have to take another look at this to see the replay. That was a tough call going against North Penn. But a good job by the official to make the call decisively right away. That'll bring up 4th down for the Crusaders. Here it is. Does his arm go forward? Yeah. The arm does go forward. The ball was going forward, so that is an incomplete pass. Good call by the official. 4th and 5 for the Crusaders. Ball just outside the North Penn 30-yard line. And they might be bringing in a punt formation. I'm not sure. They have made several substitutions. And North Penn's defense will just react accordingly. This is 4-down territory usually for North Penn. We'll see what Lansdale Catholic does. Well, they're going to go for it. No, they're punting.
Watch the fake punt, Kyle. They've been throwing lots of stuff out today.
Well, this is just a pooch kick to try to pin the ball down inside North Penn territory. Oh, that is a great punt by number 83 for the Crusaders. Kevin Maloney down inside the 10-yard line to the 8. That was punted perfectly, Chad. You know, he angled it toward the sideline and had it skip out of bounds inside the 10. So now North Penn with a 1-point lead has to play the long field.
I think he's been practicing that all game. Every time he kicks the ball, it's in a spiral, and it usually rolls to one of the sidelines.
So 1st and 10 for the Knights at their own 8-yard line. 92 yards from the other end zone. 11:06 to go in this ballgame, the 17th meeting of the Crusaders and the North Penn Knights. Double tight end formation for North Penn. Talese still at quarterback, number 1. Here goes Heike Johnson, and he is buried by Scott Keating in the backfield. Oh my, he got drilled on that play. A 2-yard loss, and it will be 2nd and 12. Chad, let's take a look now that we have them, the final third quarter stats.
Well, North Penn's rushing not as great as it was in the first quarter, but 34 yards. Their passing, they did improve a lot on, 38, and they came up with a total of 72. LC, surprisingly, in this third quarter, has not come out passing at all, and their rushing is up to 38 with a total of 38 yards.
2nd and 11 for the Knights. Up the middle it goes to Kapusta. He slashes forward for about a 7-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and a long 3 for North Penn at their 16-yard line. So this is a very important conversion for North Penn if they can get through on 3rd down here. And they're going to bring in Ray McKnight to replace Heike Johnson, or are they? No, they send him back out. Doing a little Chinese fire drill here on the sideline. And we'll see what North Penn does. It's another tough situation. The LC players trying to rile up the crowd as the Crusaders crowd on the far side of the stadium does rise to their feet. 3rd and a long 3. Here goes Johnson. It's a pitch left. He has nowhere to go. And he is brought down at the line of scrimmage. North Penn on the outside running today just have nothing to go on, Chad, it seems.
Well, I don't think they've been getting their blockers that they usually do out there. Like Casa, I haven't really seen him make any big blocks yet this game.
Well, we'll be 4th and 3, and with North Penn only with a 1-point lead, they're going to bring in John Corson to punt here. Back to receive, standing at the North Penn 45-yard line is Jack Byers. Now he'll take a couple steps back. I believe Corson has a bit of a breeze behind him. A low snap, but the ball is a low-line drive, and Byers will field it on 3 hops at the 47-yard line. Tackle made from behind by Larry Cannon at the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 Crusaders. Now, Chad, once again, the Crusaders playing with the short field.
Well, Pettin once more obviously showing that he does trust his defense. I mean, they came out in the beginning of the third quarter, and they've just been playing unbelievable since then.
Yeah, and we have to go back, of course, to the first half when the Crusaders scored both their touchdowns. Both conversions failed, and that is the difference in this game right now. The Crusaders make their extra points. It's 14-13 Lansdale Catholic. They missed them both, and it's 13-12 North Penn. It just makes you wonder. I mean, Lansdale Catholic has struggled in this game over the past 2 years with their conversions. I haven't seen them. They made a 2-point conversion last year, and that's about it. Here's Joe Judge, the quarterback, rolling to the right side of the field on 1st down. And Clay Kucklick hog ties Joe Kellogg and throws him down after he catches Judge's pass for a 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5 for Lansdale Catholic.
Once more, the LC using Knights' zone defense to their advantage.
Well, North Penn is content to give up the 5-yard play off the pass. They just don't want to give up the big play. And they, by and large, have not given up any big passing plays today. Jack Byers has had a couple big runs for the Crusaders as he has split out far to the right side. Inside of him is Tim Moyer. It's a quarterback sneak by Joe Judge. He'll pick up 2 yards. 3rd and 3 for the Crusaders. So North Penn's defense has to dig in once again. Ball is at the North Penn 33-yard line. The Crusaders have 3 yards to go for a first down with 8 minutes left in this ball game. Both teams still have all 3 timeouts left, and they may come into play. Here we go, 3rd and 3 for the Crusaders. They approach the ball. Jack Byers almost 10 yards deep in the halfback position. And Judge will hand off up the middle. The ball went to Lansdale Catholic's Ryan Maloney. He did not get the first down. That was actually Bruner, I beg your pardon. He's a yard short. And it will be 4th and 1 for the Crusaders, and they will most likely go for it with time running out on the Crusaders. 4th and 1 for Lansdale Catholic. North Penn's defense trying to rise to the occasion. Mike Moore on the North Penn sideline. He's not playing with a bad back, trying to fire up the crowd here at Crawford Stadium. But the Knights, I believe, called timeout. Didn't have the right formation there, so they're going to have to organize themselves for this big play. And if they stop Lansdale Catholic here, Chad, they're in the driver's seat if they can put some more points on the board.
Well, they've been controlling the ball pretty well so far this game. You can control the ball, you get some first downs, you drive down the field, score another touchdown. Chances are you're pretty much going to win.
And we once again, Chad, we might see North Penn. Oh wait, never mind. They're up by 1. I was thinking if they scored again, they might go for a 2-point conversion, but that wouldn't make any sense. 7:02 to go in the ball game. Knights do lead 13-12. And it will be 4th and 1 from the 31-yard line as Coach Beck, the defensive coordinator for the Knights, talking to the linemen on the defense. Number 66 there is Jeff Craig. He's been playing well for the Knights today. He's made some big hits at the line of scrimmage, and not necessarily tackling, but just filling up the holes for the blockers. And he's done a good job of that today. So the North Penn crowd starting to make a little noise as the timeout is over. Coach Algio talking to his players in the huddle, trying to figure out what they do. They might just sneak it again with Joe Judge. Judge goes 6'3", 190, so he is big enough physically to just kind of jump over the pile. We'll see what they do. Power I formation for the Crusaders. Maloney and Bruner, the up men. Byers, the deep man. Over the middle, it goes incomplete. North Penn takes over. It looked like the tight end for the Crusaders, John Walsh, was begging for a pass interference call. It's not forthcoming. 1st and 10, North Penn. Good stop by the Knights.
That was an extremely good stop, but Judge on that play, he didn't have to fire that ball that hard. He could have just lobbed it over the defensive line, and it would have been caught for a first down. They only needed a yard. Yeah, it really looked like North Penn was playing run all the way right there, but you know they went with the pass. And it is 1st and 10 for the Knights. Up the middle goes Kapusta. Falls forward for a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7 for the Knights. Let's go down on the field to Melissa Croak.
Hi, Kyle. We're down with some more fans. What's your name?
Joe Scheffler.
Do you think this has been an exciting game?
Yeah, it's been back and forth the whole time. It's been very exciting.
Anybody have friends that go to LC?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Are you going to use this to, like, brag if we win?
Yeah, I think it will.
Yeah.
Just tell them we won, and, you know. You suck.
Yeah. Definitely crosstown bragging rights at stake. All right, back to you, Kyle.
It's getting a little bitter down there. Wow. Joe Talese is hammered after a 3-yard gain, knocked backwards by Lansdale Catholic's Mark Bruner. And Chad, it's kind of interesting, you know, the whole crosstown rival thing. You and I played football back in middle school with some of these kids that are on Lansdale Catholic's team, and you know, you grow up through the ranks with them through the youth football program, through the Squires, the Cannoneers, and then into the middle school programs through 8th grade football and 7th grade. And then these kids go their separate ways. Some go to Lansdale Catholic, some go to North Penn, and they all meet on Thanksgiving Day. It's kind of great, and there was a breakfast yesterday. That's where I interviewed Coach Algio, and it's really neat. They bring together the seniors, and they all get together before the game. But it is 3rd and 5. Heike Johnson on the I-veer, slashes forward and gets the first down on second effort. Good job by Johnson. 1st and 10, North Penn.
Well, that's the first big block I've seen Koslow throw. I mean, he actually came flying around the line. I keep pushing him and just flattened whoever was in front of him, and I feel sorry for that person.
Dave Koslow's specialty is the pancake block. I remember at the CB East game this year up at War Memorial Stadium, I was down on the sideline, and on the opening drive, Dave Koslow had 4 pancake blocks in one single drive. They just run that I-veer, and he'd be knocking, it seemed like the same guy over every play. Here's the I-veer again. Johnson is met at the line of scrimmage, and there you see, Chad, that time Koslow could not get in front of Johnson. Looked like he might have slipped coming out of his stance.
That was a great job by Kapusta to pick up the first guy in front of him. I don't know what happened to Heike. I guess he just tripped it or slipped in his footing. But he did have a hole.
It is 2nd and 9 after a short gain by Heike Johnson. 4:50 to go in the ball game. North Penn leading 13-12. Once again, Lansdale Catholic going with a 4-3 defense and shifting to a 6-1. Now Matt Hertz, the tight end, comes in motion to the near side. Johnson, with not much running room, falls forward. He was wrapped up in the backfield by Chip Panico and John Briner, 2 of the co-captains for the Crusaders. Does manage to get 3 yards, and it will be 3rd and 6 for the Knights at their own 45-yard line. Might see him go to the air here, Chad, 3rd and 6.
Well, I haven't seen North Penn throw for a while. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe a little out and up.
Yeah, they threw the ball down toward the end zone on their scoring drive to set up their touchdown run with Mike Kapusta, but they have not thrown the ball since. Exception being, of course, the 2-point conversion. 3rd and 6. Ball at the 45-yard line. 4 wide receivers for the Knights. Fitzpatrick, Colinello, Johnson, and Thomas. It's a keeper by Joe Talese, and you saw Chip Panico just grab him by the scruff of his neck and sit him down after a 1-yard gain. It'll be 4th and 5 for North Penn, and a timeout is being called on the field by Lansdale Catholic. I think North Penn's going to punt here, Chad, after giving up the 3rd down conversion. I wouldn't imagine they'd go for it with just a 1-point lead. They have a good chance with Corson punting to pin them down deep into Lansdale Catholic territory.
I don't know. I think they might try for it. I mean, you're up by 1 point. You've been able to stop Lansdale so far, so why not go for it?
Well, down on the field, Melissa Croak had earlier interviewed the water girl. Now we got the ball boy. Take it away, Melissa.
We have a ball boy here. What's your name? Adam. Okay, and what is your job exactly?
I do the cleat cleaning.
Okay. Do you help throw out the balls?
No.
Oh, so you lied to me. Okay. How's the weather been?
Cold.
Pretty cold?
Wet.
Wet. Yeah. Glad it stopped raining?
Yep.
All right, who's going to win?
Probably, yeah, us.
Us? Yeah, okay. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Melissa. It's 4th down and 5 for North Penn. They're going to be punting, and you got to admit, the cleat cleaner is a very unsung hero on the North Penn team, especially in a game like this. Here's the snap to Corson. The punt is away. It's not very good. It's a wobbler, and Dave Messerschmidt, the long snapper, trying to down it. Slipped in the mud, but anyway, it is down to the 36-yard line of Lansdale Catholic, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Crusaders.
Yeah, that wasn't a very good kick by Corson. Actually, it's probably the worst one I've seen from him today. I mean, during warm-ups, he came out, he was booting him, but now I don't know what's going on with him. Messerschmidt, if he would have stuck his hands out, he could have caught the ball.
Yeah, it would have made an over-the-shoulder catch on punt coverage. That would have been pretty amazing. 3:27 on the clock. 13-12, North Penn in the lead. If they can stop the Crusaders on this drive, they stand a good chance to come away with a victory here. Joe Judge at quarterback. Will give to Byers off tackle. Makes a cut at the line of scrimmage, gets by 3 North Penn defenders, and is finally planted at the 42-yard line after a pickup of close to 6 or 7 yards by Larry Cannon and Fran Mahan. 2nd and 3. for the Crusaders at their own 41-yard line. Here's a replay, and you'll see Jack Byers make several cuts here at the line of scrimmage, and Steve Wagner got stiff-armed. Heike Johnson went high on him, and he just ducked under. You got to tackle well in this conditions. Here goes Byers off the other side, and he is met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play. Fran Mahan once again on the tackle, along with Jeff Craig. 3rd and a long 2 now after maybe a short gain on that play. 2:35 and counting to go in this game. Lansdale Catholic calling for a timeout, and if we get the chance, we're going to take a look at the number 2 all-time play in the North Penn top 10 over the past 2 years, and this one will be from the Abington game this year, Aaron Thomas.
They run an inside counter to Aaron Thomas, and here he goes. Look at him go. He's got the 40, the 35, 50. Is he going to go? I think so. I don't believe it. A 98-yard run by Aaron Thomas. Touchdown, nice. And they're in the lead. So much for conceding the punt. Wow.
That, of course, was Aaron Thomas running 98 yards against Abington earlier this year. The longest run from scrimmage in North Penn history. That leaves only one play left. And those of you that follow North Penn football probably know what that is, and we'll take a look at it at the end of this game. Right now, it's 3rd and 2 for the Crusaders. A big play here for North Penn. Although, Chad, you have to think this late in the game, North Penn's going to have to stop Lansdale Catholic twice here.
Well, there's 2:30 left. It's 3rd down. What the heck? Bring both your linebackers. Say, LC once more is going with something really strange with a nice little screen.
Look at this. They stack the line and go to the screen. There's going to be a flag on the play. It might be illegal formation. We'll see what this call is. I don't know what happened. Joe Judge visibly upset at that one.
Might have been ineligible receivers downfield.
Well, it's going to be a procedure penalty against Lansdale Catholic. If we can take a look at the replay, maybe we can see what happened. I don't know if they were in motion. Yeah, I can't tell from that angle. I don't know what it was. You know, maybe not enough guys on the line of scrimmage. Maybe too many men on the line of scrimmage. I don't know if they had somebody in motion before the play happened. But, man, Coach Algio has just been unbelievable. He's tricking us all up here. Let's quickly go down to Melissa Croak.
Hi, Kyle. I'm here with Mrs. Newman. Mrs. Newman, has the game been exciting?
This is a great game. It's very exciting. The players are very, very dirty. They're very muddy and dirty.
They're poor mothers.
They're poor mothers. And, of course, that's what I think of when I look at them, that they're a mess.
Do you think we're going to win, though?
Yeah, of course we're going to win. Of course we're going to win. We have 2 minutes left, and we're winning by 1 point. So, yes.
Okay.
I don't really know what's going on, but I'm sure we're going to win.
All right, thank you very much. Back to you, Kyle.
Always good to have a mother's perspective there. When she said they're playing dirty, she doesn't mean it's cheap. They're just muddy out there. It's crazy. Now some more confusion just to add it into the mix of things here. The officials having a conference. They might be adding time on the clock. I'm not sure. They started to run the clock, and I don't think it should be running.
The LC coaches are not happy at all. I can't tell who it is from here, but whoever it was just slammed their headset on the ground.
Yeah, it looks like the referee on the near side, they were trying to call up to the press box to figure out how much time should be on the clock. And I'm not sure. Because I think, Chad, after that penalty, now they're running time off the clock. They're calling, I think I just saw Coach Pettin there go 2:25 with his hands. And with the ancient scoreboard here at Crawford Stadium, it's going to be a while before we get this clock set. And there you see the flag blowing here at Crawford Stadium. It's a pretty breezy day. And Chad, you know, it looks like the winner of this game, if Lansdale Catholic comes down the field, they're going to have to score a touchdown. It doesn't look like kicking a field goal is going to happen today with this wind.
Definitely not. I mean, look at the kickoffs. The ball right there is not even being snapped, and you're running at it as hard as you can, and 90% of these kickoffs have been on the ground. I mean, there's a little proof right there. The ball's rolling across the field.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. They just lost the spot because the officials aren't paying attention, and the ball just took off rolling across the field. That's unbelievable. But you have to say for Lansdale Catholic, at least it's not a headwind. You know, they're not going to be kicking, if they have to kick a field goal, directly into the wind. It's blowing from the far side to the near side of the field. Well, we're still trying to figure out the clock here. If I'm not mistaken, we had clock problems at the Thanksgiving game last year. Well, the officials trying to calm down both coaching staffs. They don't know what is going on. Well, that's what they're going to do. They told us up here that they're going to hold the clock for 6 seconds, pretending that it's going to be 2 minutes and 32 seconds to go in the ball game, although it shows 2:26 on the scoreboard. What's the Thanksgiving game without a little confusion? 13-12, North Penn in the lead. 3rd and 7 for the Crusaders. Ball on their own 38-yard line. North Penn's going to have to stop them twice. Crowd making some noise here at Crawford Stadium. Judge is back to pass. He slips, steps up, fires, incomplete over the middle. No flags. Coverage by Steve Wagner and Heike Johnson downfield on Lansdale Catholic's Dave Bell-Fatty.
I don't think Judge got everything he wanted on that ball. As soon as he was releasing it, Martin Leonard came up and hit him from his side.
Yeah, Chad, it looked like he wanted to get rid of it the first time, and then his plant foot slipped, so he had to step up again and get the timing back. So it was an unfortunate situation for Joe Judge, but now it is 4th and 7 for the Crusaders. This is the ball game.
The referee said to hold it.
39, ball is on the 39-yard line, 2:26 on the clock. Joe Judge at quarterback. This is the play of the game right here. He's back to pass. He fires. It's caught. First down, Crusaders, a clutch play. Oh my, I don't believe it. He found Jack Byers. He went up and made an incredible catch. It's 1st and 10 for the Crusaders.
That's one of the scariest things to do as a wide receiver is jump up and catch the ball that high up in the air and keep your back turned towards the defensive back.
Incredible athletic play for Jack Byers. 1st and 10 Crusaders at their own 46-yard line. A big momentum boost given to them right there. Here's that Statue of Liberty play again, and knocked down in the backfield is Mark Bruner. Timeout by Lansdale Catholic. And Coach Algio will come out and draw another play in the dirt for the Crusaders. Now we're under 2 minutes to go, 1:54 to be exact. And the crowd is starting to stir a little bit on both sides of the stadium, anticipating an exciting finish. And there's no doubt in my mind the winner of this game is going to be the team that has the ball last. And Chad, I mean, you really don't know what to expect from Lansdale Catholic, and that's what's so hard to plan a game plan around them. They run such a varied offense, and once you think they're in a rhythm and they're just going to run the draw to Byers, run a couple quick outs to Kellogg, here they go and throw a screen pass with 18 guys on the field. I mean, it's unbelievable what happens out there. And they've run fake plays in every Thanksgiving game that I've seen here at Crawford Stadium. And going back to 1988, that was the last time Lansdale Catholic won a football game here on Thanksgiving. They won 25-0. That's the most lopsided Thanksgiving game ever. It's been close the past couple times these two teams have played. It was a one-point game last year, and it looks like it might be another one-point game this year. 2nd and 12 for the Crusaders. North Penn trying to once again bend but not break against the Lansdale Catholic offense. Judge with a 3-step drop, fires, it's caught by Kellogg, and he smartly goes out of bounds after picking up about 6 or 7 yards. It will be 3rd and a long 5 for the Crusaders from the North Penn 49-yard line.
Well, I thought when they ran that screen pass last series, Kyle, that was going to be the end of the game. North Penn was going to get the ball back. I thought they pretty much were going to kill themselves.
Well, they once again fixed the clock on us, and it's 1:58. I don't understand this clock anymore. Nothing like having a little problems with the clock on the last game I call is North Penn Television. Here we go. Joe Judge, 3rd and 6. Pump fakes, fires. It's short of the first down. Kellogg stretches for it. We'll see where they spot it. Oh, they gave him a pretty generous spot right there. They might be measuring. We'll see.
I think they're going to give him the first down. I know, they're moving their spot, Kyle.
Yeah, it looked like the initial spot was right at the first down marker. The clock is now stopped with 1:50 to go.
From over here, you can't really see, but it might look like his knee. As he went out of bounds, his knee might have hit the ground first.
Well, it is going to be 4th down. They didn't even measure it. And right here, Chad, I think Lansdale Catholic has 2 timeouts left, if I'm not mistaken. And they might just sneak up the middle and get the first down here and then kill the clock and reset their offense. Minute 50 to go. 4th and less than a yard. It's gonna go to the fullback, Bruner. He breaks loose. He gets 10 yards and a first down for the Crusaders down to the 33-yard line of North Penn. So not only does Bruner get the first down, he gets deep into North Penn territory at the 34-yard line. They wait for the chains to get set up. Lansdale Catholic running out of the no-huddle offense. And the clock will roll. $1:40 to go. The final 95 seconds of the game. Quick slant. It's caught by Belfatti. He slips. It looked like they gave him a couple extra yards. It looked like his knee had hit, but they gave him the benefit of the doubt. He gets 2 more yards. 2nd and 3 for the Crusaders after the 7-yard gain. Clock running still, 1:20 to go. Judge, 3-step drop, steps up, fires, wide open is Maloney, and he catches it inside the 5-yard line. Oh my, Heike Johnson laid a lick on him, but it is 1st and goal for the Crusaders.
Heike looked like he was trying to hit him hard enough so he dropped the ball, and he would have been better off putting his helmet in his chest and driving him backwards because he may not have been able to hold on to it.
Now we'll see if Lansdale Catholic tries to, as you saw, Chad, good point right there. Heike Johnson trying to lay the lick on him as North Penn calls for a timeout on defense to give us a chance to catch our breath here. Wow, a great play to Maloney. That could be our play of the game. I mean, clutch throw by Joe Judge, and Maloney was just wide open, got his hands out and made a great catch. And we're going to go down to the field to Melissa Croak right now. Take it away, Melissa.
Hi again, Kyle. I'm down here with some LC fans. How do you think your team's been playing?
The team's been playing great. They've been holding North Penn to short yardage on a lot of plays, but the thing about this game is it's not who wins or loses. It's just that it comes down to the wire, and it's a great tradition, and it looks like LC's going to pull it out, but we're going to have to wait to see that.
And what are you doing over here?
I'm trying to listen to the plays for North Penn.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Back to you, Kyle.
Well, it sounds like the Crusaders have a spy on the North Penn sideline. How about that? But that guy was right. You know, it's not who wins or loses. It's just the tradition. And although both coaches want to win this game badly to play for pride for this season, one of these teams is going to end the season 9-3. One will end at 8-4. You gotta applaud both these teams and both coaching staffs, Chad. A great game, a very exciting game, and there's still 66 seconds left, and anything can happen then. Joe Judge is still at quarterback. It goes up the middle to Bruner. He gets down inside the 3-yard line. It is 2nd and goal. Clock running, under a minute to go now, 55 seconds. It looks like the Crusaders might try to kill some of the clock here and not leave North Penn a lot of time on the clock, and they're taking their time doing that. Judge calling the play at the line of scrimmage now, 40 seconds to go. 2nd and goal. Give us to Bruner. Touchdown Crusaders, Mark Bruner, and the Crusaders are in the lead. I don't believe it. A great comeback by the Crusaders. 18-13, they're in the lead with the extra point to follow.
All this is happening just like last year, except it's the other way around.
That's right, Chad. You know, North Penn was down. They came back for the win. And now Lansdale Catholic found themselves down by a point, come back for the win, and this place is going nuts over at the Lansdale Catholic side of the field. Crusaders will be going for the point after. They're just going to kick the ball as they lead by 5. I'm kind of surprised by this. You'd think they'd go for 2. Well, the ball is loose. They're going to have to go for 2 anyway by default. Here is Keating. He's scrambling, trying to get to the corner of the end zone, and oh my goodness, I don't believe it. It's caught, but there is a flag. That might be an illegal forward pass because he underhanded it in front of the line of scrimmage. We'll see what the call is. There's no good. They call it no good. You can't just throw the ball like that, although that was very creative. But once again,
Brett Favre-like.
Yeah, what's a Thanksgiving game without a little confusion, huh? We'll see what the call is. I think it'll be an illegal forward pass. Oh, no, it's a clip against Lansdale Catholic. It's a clip. Let's take a look at this, and you'll see chaos ensues on a bad snap, and Keating rolls out, and watch him just flick this thing right there. Oh, my. And it was caught by Who was that called that? That was Ryan Maloney. But yes, Chad, that call, I guess, clip did go against number 75, John Briner.
72, Kyle.
Oh, it's Scott Keating. Okay. So the older brother of the kicker makes the clip in the backfield. So now Lansdale Catholic will most likely go for 2 anyway. They're not going to make this kick here. It's a 15-yard penalty on the clip, and that'll spot the ball at the 18-yard line. So they're going to have to put it in the end zone from 18 yards out. Actually, it's 15 from the spot of the foul, so it'll even be further back. Look at this. Oh, my.
Well, the Crusaders obviously now are going for 2.
Well, geez, look at this. Oh, I see what they did. They called 2 penalties against the Crusaders. If you saw the official there, he called a clip, and he called an unsportsmanlike conduct. I don't know if it might have been like an excessive celebration after that play because everybody was going crazy and was on the field. So chalk up 30 yards in penalties to the Crusaders, and it's goal to go from the 34-yard line. Might see him just go out of the shotgun, and they do. They're going to split 3 wides to the right side of the field, double tight end formation. Bruner to the near side. Judge steps up, fires over the middle, incomplete, and falls to the ground before Heike Johnson can come up with it. So here's the situation, Chad. 37 seconds left. North Penn trails by 5. They need a touchdown. They need a big return out of their kick returner, Aaron Thomas and or Heike Johnson. And we might see the out and up again to Evan Fitzpatrick. Here's, once again, Joe Talese. He's matured a lot this year, the junior quarterback for the Knights. This is where we find out what he's made of. It's going to be a gutsy performance by the North Penn Knights to come back and win this one.
Well, Talese, I think sitting out on the sideline and watching Kucklick play might have helped him a little. I mean, you learn some different stuff from the quarterbacks, and you can just add it to your arsenal.
Yeah, we heard Clay Kucklick on Coach's Corner in the pregame show talk about that when Talese was at quarterback during practice, anytime the coaches had advice for Talese, Kucklick was over there listening. And it goes both ways. Anytime they're giving advice to Kucklick, Talese is listening. And that really helps this program become better. They have 2 solid quarterbacks who can help them. Ball blows off the tee. Lansdale Catholic's going to have to reset it. Leading by 5 with 37 seconds to go in the ball game. Once again, you cannot ask for a better game. Lansdale Catholic North Penn, the 17th time around, certainly not a disappointment. LC has not won in 10 years. And they're 37 seconds away from taking a victory from the jaws of North Penn. Here's Keating's kick. It's a squibber. Taken by Larry Cannon. He's going to return it. Gets a lane and is knocked down at the 37-yard line. North Penn is going to have to go 63 yards. We saw him go 64 yards on one play in the opening drive. But they're going to be hard-pressed to come back here. Coach Pettin talking with his players on the sideline, sending in the play.
Well, Cannon right there might have been better off just falling on the ball and saving his team some time. Instead, he wasted 5 seconds.
Well, 1st and 10 for the Knights. 32 seconds to go. Thomas split to the near side. Fitzpatrick, Colinello, and Johnson to the far side. Out of the shotgun goes Talese. He's going to go deep for Thomas. Has a step. Incomplete, no flags. It looked like Kevin Bonner was all over him, pleading his case, but does not get a call. 27 seconds left.
Yeah, it looked like Kevin Bonner kind of spun him around, turned him inside out.
The ball might have been a little too far for Aaron Thomas anyway, but we'll do it again. 2nd and 10 from the 37-yard line with 27 seconds to go in the game. And Chad, we might see North Penn try to run a long pattern toward the sideline so that they can get out of bounds to stop the clock, whereas with the 1st down, you just stop the clock and then it runs right again. Same formation for the Knights. Out of the shotgun goes Talese. Plenty of time. Going deep again for Thomas. Incomplete. Good play by Kevin Bonner. That time it was definitely clean. Knocking the ball down from Thomas. Another 4 seconds tick off the clock. And it is 3rd and 10.
Well, LC is obviously reading the North Penn's offense pretty well.
Well, this time, Chad, we might see that out and up play to Fitzpatrick. We might see him, throw the pump fake in there to get the defense to bite because it's there. We've seen it. And they're going to send now Thomas and Fitzpatrick to the near side. Colinello to the far side. Split backs in the shotgun. To stay in and block. Here goes Talese. Here goes Fitzpatrick. And on the deep slant, Johnson coming out of the backfield does not catch that. Overthrown. But a flag is down on the play. We'll see what the call is. Waiting for a signal from the official talking to the Crusaders players. That will probably make that a penalty against North Penn. Might be a procedure, and it is against North Penn, and that play will obviously be declined. 4th down. 18-13, Lansdale Catholic in the lead. This play is the ball game. The Crusaders lead by 5. The green and gold faithful on the far side of the stadium rise to their feet in support of their defense. North Penn has to come up with at least a first down here to keep this game alive. Trips to the left, Colinello, Fitzpatrick, and Thomas. Twins to the right, Kapusta and Johnson. It's a stand-up to Heike Johnson. Can he get the first down? Yes, look at him go. Hurdles, he's down to the 30. The 25, 20, cuts inside. 15, 10, 5, touchdown Knights. Heike Johnson. I don't believe it. Are you kidding me? Could you ask for a more exciting finish? Oh, baby, what a play. A 60-yard connection to Heike Johnson. Oh, my goodness. This is crazy. We're high-fiving the assistant coaches up here, Chad. This is unbelievable. I don't believe it. Oh, baby. North Penn has stolen the victory from Lansdale Catholic. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
That was a great call by the coaches. And that's an amazing end to your season right there.
That is definitely, I'm saying it right now, that is the play of the game. Hands down, Heike Johnson going 60 yards. Oh, my. It's a shame that we already put our top 10 together because that would automatically be the #1 play of all time. Oh, my goodness. I just don't know what to say. Lansdale Catholic players visibly dejected. And, wow, Coach Pettin congratulating Heike Johnson. What a great run for Heike. Actually, it's a reception. You know, he didn't do the job that well running the football today, but comes up with 2 big stand-up passes across the middle of the field, and he made 3 or 4 downfield cuts. And Chad, you saw Dave Koslow down the field making the blocks for Heike Johnson, and we saw him finally getting it together. You know, you said he was struggling getting outside for those blocks, but that time he's just straight down the field. A virtual escort for Heike Johnson.
All between Koslow, Thomas, Colinello, and Fitzpatrick all downfield blocking for him. He only had that one guy to beat, and stiff arm to the head usually works.
You could not ask for a better game on Thanksgiving. The 17th meeting of Lansdale Catholic and North Penn certainly does not disappoint. North Penn going for 2. It's a fade pattern to Fitzpatrick. Out of bounds. North Penn will just have a 19-18 lead. Let's take a look at the play of the year. Check it out. Stand up to Heike Johnson. Just watch it. And once again, a great cut by Heike Johnson. Are you kidding me? That is just the most incredible play I have ever seen.
I have to give Corey Jackson some credit getting downfield and making those blocks too.
That was great. So with 6 seconds to go, North Penn up 19-18. And while we have the chance, we're going to go to the #1 play over the past 2 years of North Penn football, which is probably unseated by that play that just happened. But it is in the CB West football game earlier this year. And as I said, those of you that follow North Penn football know about this play. The most exciting play of the year, Heike Johnson to Evan Fitzpatrick.
It is 4th and 3. North Penn gets this first down. They are in prime position to put some points on the board here before the half is closed out. They go into a tight formation, double tight end, 3 backs. Bucklick is going to sneak it. Oh, it's a fake pass into the end zone. Touchdown, Knights! I don't believe it! Heike Johnson to Evan Fitzpatrick. They make the snap. They go direct snap to Heike Johnson making the sneak, fooling everybody in Crawford Stadium, including myself and the CB West defense. The Knights are in the lead. Oh, my goodness.
The #1 play over the past 2 years, although many would make a case for that last Heike Johnson reception, our play of the game, and we'll have a look at that after our break at the end of this game. 6 seconds to go. It's going to be a squib kick by Heinel. Popped up, and, oh, North Penn almost recovered it. How about that? And that's it. This game is over. North Penn has beaten Lansdale Catholic in the 17th meeting of the two schools. A 19-18 victory, although they are discussing, are they going to give Lansdale Catholic 1 second? Yeah, they are. They're going to give Lansdale Catholic one last play, 2 seconds. So hold your celebration, keep the turkey in the oven. There's still 2 seconds left. North Penn will obviously just go into a prevent defense, sending about 7 guys to the back and just sending maybe a 3 or a 4-man rush top. So this is the last play of the game. It will be 1st and 10 for the Crusaders. It's going to be a Hail Mary. Joe Judge at quarterback. He's going to have 4 wide receivers. Dave Belfatti to the near side. Well, Judge is going to scramble, and it's incomplete. This game is over. North Penn defeats Lansdale Catholic in a come-from-behind, thrilling victory, 19-18 at Crawford Stadium. This place is going nuts. I don't believe it. Chad, what can you say? Just an incredible game.
This game has been so good, I don't know what to say. I mean, this is almost better than the CB West game.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick break and catch our breath, and we're going to come back, and I'll be talking with Coach Mike Pettin Jr. of the North Penn Knights. Once again, 19-18 the final score. Heike Johnson with a huge play coming up big, and North Penn defeats Lansdale Catholic. Back after this on North Penn Television.
You don't have to like me.
Or you can. You don't have to be my friend.
But you might like me if you got to know me.
You don't have to be my roommate.
I am gonna be your neighbor. You don't have to run with me.
You really don't have to run away from me.
You may not like what I have to say, but hear me. Hear me out. Man, we're not all that different. I like good food.
Good music.
I love my mom. I want to fall in love.
Madly. I want a good job.
I want my kids to live in a world
where they're safe and loved and respected for who they are.
You don't have to like me, but if you talk to me,
you might.
We can end prejudice if we talk to each other. Call. Tell us what you do.
Together we can build one America.
What would you do if you had to choose between the buffalo and the giraffes? Between a flower or an elephant? What would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a million-year-old beach? Between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Would you make the right choice? Would there be a right choice? Now there's a way to help. Not just one, but all these things. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with. Ask your employer about workplace giving.
When you buy disposable products for your home, you're really saying, it's okay to deplete natural resources. So when they tell you to buy stuff that's reusable, you tell them you'd rather throw it all away. Buy smart, waste less, save more.
Well, welcome back to Crawford Stadium. North Penn escaping with a 19-18 victory. Right now we're joined by the head coach of the North Penn Knights, Mike Pettin. Coach, you stole this one away, but you can't speak enough of the effort of your kids today.
Well, I told our seniors after the game that I had stressed to them all week that we wanted to go out with in a memorable way, and I think maybe they misunderstood me. But it was, we hung in there, and I got to give LC a ton of credit. I mean, they showed up, they played hard. We were flat for whatever reason, but we found we had enough left. We had enough left to win it. Heike made a great run on the long pass, and we were fortunate things worked out for us.
Well, your kid's on the sideline. You're down by 5 points with 37 seconds left. What are they saying down there? Are they still positives, thinking they can come back and do this? I mean, what was the tone down there?
Well, I just think everybody was focused on their task at hand. We stressed to our team we're never going to quit. Whether we're up by a bunch, down by a bunch, we play hard from the opening whistle till the final gun. So our kids were playing hard, and luckily we executed and we made a play.
Once again, this year the turkey's going to taste a little better, huh?
Sure, it will taste pretty good, Kyle.
Okay, Coach, thanks for a great 2 years. I've enjoyed calling the games.
Thanks, Kyle.
Okay, right now back up in the press box, Chad, let's take a look at some of the stats at the end of the game.
All right, North Penn, for their final passing yards, had 62, with 223 rushing yards, a total of 285. And LC had 118 yards passing, 129 rushing, and 247. For individuals, Johnson had 22 carries for 102 yards, 1 touchdown, the game-winning one, obviously. And Talese was 4 for 14 for 62 yards. Kapusta, 10 carries, 28 yards, 1 touchdown. And Byers had 22 carries for 92 yards, and Judge was 13 for 24 for 118 yards.
Okay, right now we're going to join Corey Jackson down on the field, one of the linemen for North Penn. Corey, you're a senior, last game is a North Penn night. This has to feel great.
Oh, it feels real great. I mean, we thought we were down and out, but we had 1 play left, and we knew it was a jailbreak screen, and I was waiting for Jack Byers to slow up, and if he would have slowed up, that means Heike Johnson would have got tackled, but he started speeding up, so I had to speed up downfield and put a block on him. Heike just broke it with all the speed that he had and just took it to the house.
Now, you come into halftime, you're trailing, and you obviously weren't expecting to be trailing the Crusaders, and you get down with like 35 seconds left, you're still down. Do you guys still keep the positive mental attitude, thinking that you can still come back and win this game?
When the scoreboard says zeros all the way across, that means the game's over, but it didn't. It said 31 seconds left, and we knew we still had a chance to score.
Now, as a senior, like I said, you couldn't ask for a better way to end your career.
This was a great victory for us. I mean, it feels real great. I mean, contribute to the LC guys. They gave it all they had, and they were a real good team, despite the loss that they took, but they really gave us a run for our money today.
Okay, Corey, have a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, bye.
All right, good job down there. Well, we're going crazy down there. How about that, Chad? What can you say? Once again, North Penn, LC, you can't beat it.
Nope. Thanksgiving Day, best thing to do is just come out and watch players play.
Well, as we wrap things up here from Crawford Stadium, I'd like to once again thank Bob Gilmore and Mary Fakish, our 2 TV advisors, doing an excellent job for us over these past couple years. And like I said, this is my last football game, so with a tear in my eye, for a final time here for Chad Powell, I'm Kyle Berger from Crawford Stadium. So long, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving.